Alright, hi everyone. I'm Junhao. I'm back with another video. Okay, this video I'm doing Addmaths paper. This is the SBP trial 2025, and uh, this is the paper 2. Okay, I already did the paper 1, so this video I'll do the paper 2 lah. Okay, alright, subscribe if you want more videos like this. Okay, I'm gonna start now. Okay, bahagian A, question number 1. Okay, what chapter is this? Vector. So from 4, chapter 8. Okay. Okay, so diagram 1 shows trapezium SPQR and point T lies on PR. Trapezium dia mesti ada dua line yang parallel. So SPQR is very obvious already. It's these two lines that are parallel, right? Because if you look at these two lines, they are not facing the same direction. So they are not parallel. So I think it's this line and this line. So I'm just gonna use the arrow label it like this so we know that these two lines are parallel, and then the point T lies on PR. T lies on PR, okay, betul. And then given that SR is 10B, we should label this SR. Okay, the arrow is have to go R and then 10B, and then S to P is 8A. S to P is here, 8A. And then this one also can label the ratio, right? SR ratio is 2. So this is SR2, and then the PQ ratio is 1. So like that. Oh, so if the SR ratio is 2, PQ ratio is 1, so we can find the PQ vector lah. Because this one is 10B ma. So 10B divided 2, this would be 5B. And of course the arrow have to facing the same direction as this also lah. Okay. So now we have the PQ vector already. And then the PT is ratio 1. So PT is ratio 1. And then PR ratio 3. So PR ratio 3. So 3 minus 1, you'll get 2 here. Okay, so now we are done with the labeling. Now we can do question A. So express vector SQ in terms of A and B. So vector S to Q is here to here, right? So if I want to go SQ, it's very simple. You just go SP plus PQ. Okay, because if you directly go, you don't have the direct vector. So you can guna jalan lain. So you can go S to P followed by P to Q. And also you have the SP PQ already. SP is 8A, vector PQ is 5B. So that's the answer. Yeah, this is quite simple. Okay, B1. If ST equals to HSQ, express ST in terms of HA and B. Okay, if you want your answer to be in terms of H, you have to use this information. Because if you look at the diagram don't have H. The diagram only have A and B only. So if you want to have A and B and H, then definitely you have to use this. So they're asking you to find ST vector in terms of HAB. And if you look at the information they give you, is also ST. So we can just ambil terus and then just times HSQ, and the SQ I already find it just now, 8A plus 5B. So you just take the H, darab inside, and then you get 8HA plus 5HB. So that is the answer lah. The question says in terms of H, right? So this is the answer in terms of H. Okay. Okay, now we can do the B2. Okay, B2 I'll do it here. Alright, find the value of H if point ST and Q are collinear. Okay, this question memang in exam sangat suka tanya one lah. In vector question usually they always ask parallel or collinear. Okay, if they ask parallel, whether they ask parallel or collinear, the cara buat sama. The way you do it is the same. So if they ask collinear, what is so collinear? Segaris. So it means if I join from S to Q, dia akan passes to T lah, because dia segaris. So the STQ is parallel. Is collinear, sorry. Point S, point T, and point Q are collinear. And if they are collinear means what? It means if I take any two vectors along this line, it will be parallel. Okay. Yeah. So how you do it when the soalan vector asks for parallel? So when you do vector punya soalan and they said parallel, you will always do what? You will take the two vector equal and then letak lambda, right? That's what you do also lah for this question. But you have to choose any two vectors along this line lah. It can be ST, it can be TQ, it can be SQ. Yeah. Okay. But if you're smart, you will take SQ because SQ already have. No, actually, SQ I won't take actually. I will take ST because I'm trying to find H, right? So I'm trying to involve the H in my working. So I think it's better I take ST. Yeah. So this is one of the vector that I will take. But I have to equals to another vector. And I cannot equal SQ. Let me tell you why. Because uh, SQ is 8A plus 5B, right? But ST is HSQ. So if I do like that, ST equals to lambda SQ, it will be very funny because ST is equals to HSQ, and then if I do ST equals lambda SQ, then later, yeah, it will be weird. Okay, it will be weird. So what I have to do is I have to find another vector myself. Okay. Yeah, because if I do st equals lambda sq, my st I can letak here, and then my lambda I letak here, and imagine the sq letak here. So it becomes 8 lambda a equals to 8h. So it will become 8 lambda equals to 8h. And then the other one also, uh, so it's just like 8 potong is just left with h equals lambda, but they're asking you to find h. Yeah, so it actually doesn't help you to get the, yeah, it doesn't help if you do it like that. So that's why I said just now you have to find another vector. Okay, and actually know which vector I want to find. I can find my own vector st actually, because you remember just now they got give us the ratio for this line, so you can actually do sp plus pt to find st here. And after you find the st, you don't even have to letak lambda already. You just take this one terus equals to the answer for this. You don't even have to put lambda because they are both st. And if they are both st means you don't have to letak the lambda already. Because they are exactly the same vector, so you exactly terus equals saja. So what I will do is I will find sp plus pt. Sp is 8a. Pt is 1 over 3 PR. Okay, because PTT is only sebahagian daripada PR and the portion is 1 over 3. And then it becomes 8A plus 1 over 3 PR, and then the PR I can go PS plus SR. So it will be negative 8A plus 10B. Okay, yeah, because going up is 8A so going down will be negative 8A lah, and then plus 10B. Okay, the arrow is already betul already, so just plus 10b. So now it becomes 8a plus, okay, negative 8 divided by 3, it will become negative 8 over 3a, and then 10b over 3 will be 10 over 3b like this. So a dengan a boleh buat, and then the b I can tulis siap-siap, and then a dengan a I can use calculator lah. 8 minus 8 over 3, 16 over 3a, right? And this is the st vector, right? And this is also the st vector. It means both this answer can equal lah. Can equal. So we can straight away take this equals to this, and then we compare. So it becomes 8HA plus 5HB. This is the ST vector taken from here. And then the ST vector that I just find, I will write it on the other side like this. And then I tengah-tengah I can put equal. And I don't have to letak lambda because they are parallel and they are sama panjang also. So the lambda we don't have to put. If they are exactly ST like that, then you don't have to put letak lambda. What if this one is ST, but this one is parallel to ST, but it's not ST, then you letak lambda. When it's like just parallel, when it's parallel to the vector, but it's not the same vector, then you have to letak lambda. Okay, yeah, because dia tak sama panjang, right? Okay, so continue from here. What you do is you just compare lah. So other AB on the left side, other AB on the right side. So you just take out the number before A and the number before A, and then you connectkan dia. So 8H equals to 16 over 3. And on the other hand, the number before B and the number before B equals like this. 5H equals 10 over 3. Okay, they're asking for H, so H is 16 over 3 divide 8. If you press calculator, you get 2 over 3. If you press this also, you get 2 over 3 also. Okay, yeah, so there's only one answer for H lah, which is 2 over 3. Okay, so yeah, this is the answer, that's all. So so that means you can just choose one to do here lah. Okay, because they both give you the same answer anyway. So you only have one answer for H, and that's all. All right, hope you understand, that's all. Okay, question number 2. Let's scan through the question, see what chapter first decreases rate of change. Okay, rate of change, you will only see this in Form 5 chapter 2, the differentiation chapter. Okay, so this is definitely the pembezaan punya chapter lah. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down and do my A here. Let's read the question. In a factory, there is a cutting machine that cuts a cuboid-shaped wooden block. Okay, I'm gonna draw it out. So there is a cuboid-shaped block. Okay, something like that, cuboid into smaller pieces. So maybe I cut like that, and then cut like that. The volume of wooden block is represented by this equation. Okay, I feel like I have to write down this equation, right? Because definitely it will be important. And not only I will write it down, I will explain it also. Why? Because this is differentiation, and we all know when we do differentiation, mesti kena buat dy dx. In this case, it's dv dx lah, because it's v in terms of x. So you all know before differentiate, kalau boleh expand, kena expand dulu. So that is why I expand siap-siap lah. Okay, 2 and 12 can cut become 6. 6 times 39 is 234. Okay. All right, so this is the equation, and it's the equation for volume of wooden block such that x is the length of wooden block and x is bigger than 12. All right, so V stands for volume. And did they give you unit? If they got give you unit, include the unit. Okay, dia tak cakap unit lah, but okay, then it's okay. And then the x is says here is the length of wooden block, so that's the length. And then suddenly they say x bigger than 12. Okay, I don't know why they mentioned that. Maybe it will be useful later. Yeah, maybe. But it's okay. The x bigger than 12 for now. We will just leave it first. When the cutting machine is turned on, given that the length of wooden block means x lah. Yeah, the length is x, right? Decreases at a rate of 0.5. So it's a rate of change question. So when they give you the rate of change, you will have to write over dt. And since it's the length of the rate of the length, right? So it will be dx dt. Use the x to represent length. They already said here, use x to represent length. So read again. Length of wooden block decreases at the rate of 0.5. It means dx dt equals to negative 0.5. Yeah, decreases means you have to put negative. Okay. Okay, now find the rate of change of volume. You see the word again, rate. So it will be over dt. But this time it's rate of volume. So atas you can use the dv lah, because v represents volume. And then this one dia nak cari. So I'll write question mark here. When the length of wooden block is 15, means x equals 15 lah. Because I told you already, right? X represents the length of wooden block. Okay. All right. There's only one thing that I missed out, which is this x bigger than 12, right? But it's okay. That one we just leave it first. Maybe it will make sense later, right? Okay, but I make sure I bulletkan now so that I don't forget about this. Okay, it's okay. Now we start to do. All right, when we do rate of change, how we do it usually? The way I teach is I usually tell students leave an empty space here and then draw this line equals to line darab line, and then this one bawah and bawah confirm you write dt always, right? And then yang ni dengan yang ni sama, yang ni dengan yang ni sama. Okay. But if you want to know sini tulis apa, you have to tengok you punya equation, right? So your equation now is v equals, right? That means here is dv, okay? And since this and this has to be same, then this will follow lah dv, right? And then the only thing left is dx, right? So now the dv dt they want you to find, yeah, because dv dt is question mark, so this is the final answer. Dv dx they never give it here, but it's okay. But the dx dt they give it, so negative 0.5 like that. So the dv dx is what you have to find now. That is why just now I said leave an empty space here. So this empty space you use it to find dv dx from the equation, and then after you find it, you substitute inside here. Okay. The dv dt, that's the final answer. Okay. Okay. So now let's find our dv dx first, so that I can sub inside and then find the dv dt. Okay. When we differentiate, we have to take power darab depan and then power minus 1. So 2 times 39 or 239. Power minus 1 will become x power 1. And then when you differentiate negative 234x, you just get negative 234. And before you substitute inside here, make sure the x you ganti dulu. You ganti dulu. So the x dia mesti akan bagi dekat soalan. So yeah, it's here 15, right? Yeah, that's why it's important to write down the information before you start doing it. Okay. Otherwise, you will just complain about not having information, but actually they got give already. Okay, just press all this in your calculator and you shall get 351. That's the dvdx. So now you can put it inside. Now you can find the dvdt. Just press this one times this one lah. Okay, use your calculator to help you for this part. Okay, if you write in fraction, it'll be negative 351 over 2. Okay, and don't forget the unit. V is cm cube, time is second. Yeah, I think they mentioned it here also. Yeah, cm cube second, right? Okay, if you want to write in decimal, can also. In decimal, it's negative 175.5 cm cube per second, right? Ya, sama sajalah dua-dua ni. Okay, nak tulis atas pun boleh, bawah pun boleh. Alright, I'm done for this A question. Now we can do B. Okay, I need space, so I'm gonna make this smaller a bit. So, oh, this is not good. Okay, wait for me. Let me adjust this. Okay, so, okay, now I have space to do B. Alright, so the B, I'll just do it here. Okay, let's read. By using the concept of calculus, calculus means use the differentiation. Find the percentage change in the volume of sphere when there is a small change in radius by 3.6%. Okay, and then they give you the volume of sphere formula. Okay, obviously the B is not related to A lah, because A is talking about cuboid and then molten block, cutting machine, but now B suddenly talk about sphere. So this B and A has no connection whatsoever. They are not related. So it's like a new question lah. So let's read one more time. Find the percentage change. All right, there is a formula to find percentage change. I don't know you know this or not. The formula is you take the new value minus the old value, divide with the old value times 100. That's how you find percentage change. Okay, new minus old, or you can say original lah. Okay, yeah, you can call it new value minus original value divided with old times 100. That's how you find the percentage change. Okay, so if they want to find percentage volume of sphere, that means you have to take the new volume minus the old volume divided with the old volume times 100. Okay, but since we are doing differentiation, usually new minus old, we call it, that's how you get the delta lah, right? The delta V, the small change, right? Yeah, this is a small change question. Okay, so if they said find percentage change in volume of sphere, you have to take new minus old, right? And the new minus old will be the delta V lah, because that's how you get the delta V. And then over with the old, okay, I'll just call it V for now lah. The V, since it's the V old, so I'll just call it like that lah. The O stands for old lah, and then times 100, and then equals to question mark. I mean this is what I want to find lah. Yeah, this is what I want to find. Okay, so last nanti kita kena guna formula ni, right? But before we use this formula, you have to do something first, because they said there is a small change in radius by 3.6%. Okay, I understand. So let's write down this information. So okay, I need space again. So let me just group like that, and then the 3.6 is actually what? It's also percentage change, but it's for the radius. So the form, according to the formula, it's new minus old, right? But it's for radius, so it'll be delta R lah. The R represents radius over with the old value of R times 100. Okay, so I think I can find my delta R from here. 3.6 divided 100 is 0.036, and then the bahagi RO becomes times R original equals like that. And the reason why I find delta R is because later I know I have to take this equation. V equals 4/3 pi R cube, and then I have to differentiate. And after differentiate, I have to use the formula dy dx almost equals to delta y delta x. But in this case, it will be dv dr lah, dv dr. Okay, and the dr, the delta r we already have here. Okay, okay. So now I'm trying to find dv dr. So 3 times 4/3 will be 4, and then pi r square, right? Okay, but usually they will give you the r, and if they give you the r, you can sub inside, right? But this question they never give. Yeah, the only information they give is the 3.6, and that's not even the R value, that's just the percentage change. So since I cannot put it in, so I'll just leave it like that, and then I'll use the formula dVdr almost equals to delta V over delta R, and then the dVdr I'll just put it in like that, 4 pi R square, and then the delta V I'm trying to find. Okay, I'm trying to find, and then delta R will be 0.036 times R, right? Times R. Okay, okay, now this is the problem, because we don't have the R, right? But it's okay. Let's just keep going and see where it takes me, right? Let's just keep going. Okay, so let's times and see what happens. 4 times 0.036, you're gonna get 0.144. Okay, 0.144. And of course, the pi is still there. And then the R square times R will be R power 3 R cube. Okay, okay, this is the delta V. Of course, we can put it inside here, right? But later, they're asking for percentage change. Okay, so I need what? I also need the V, right? Okay, so the delta V is 0.144 pi R cube. And then the V original will be what? The old value of V. It will be this one, 4/3 pi R cube, right? Okay, but we don't have the old value of R to substitute inside. But it's okay, because we can cut. The pi and pi can cut. And then the R cube and the R cube also can cut. So you just left with this, bahagi this times 100. But when you tekan this, make sure you put the calculator, put the bracket here lah. So what is 0.144 divide bracket 4/3 and then times 100. So you get 10.8, and it will be automatic in percent already. Yeah, so like that. Okay, so you all have to know lah how to find percentage change. This is the formula. Okay, all right. So that's all. Okay, let's do number 3. What chapter is this? I think it's Form 5 chapter 1. Yeah, definitely, because it's a circle mah. Okay, so this chapter is called circular measure. Dalam bahasa Melayu, sukatan bulatan. Alright, let's read. Diagram 2 shows 2 concentric circles. Dalam bahasa Melayu, dua bulatan sepusat. Okay, what is concentric sepusat? Concentric sepusat means these 2 circles have the same center. Yeah, it means they have the same center. So as you can see, this circle, the center is here. The outside circle, also the center is here. Okay. Yeah, so that's what it means by concentric circles. Okay, PRU and QST with center O. Let's check. PRU, yeah, that's the big one. And then QS2 is the inside one. Inside circle with center O. Okay, understand? PQR is a tangent to the smaller circle at point Q. Okay, where is PQR? It's this straight line right here, and they say it's a tangent to the smaller circle, and the tangent point is point Q. Okay, tangent means this line will only touch this circle at one point, and it will be at point Q lah. And we all know when you touch the circle at one point, we call that a tangent point. And from the center circle, tarik to the tangent point is always 90. Okay, yeah, so we know that if I tarik satu line from O to Q, it will be 90 degrees. Okay, but I don't want to tarik first. Let's see what else. OP, PR, OR equals. So OP, okay, it's this one. And then OR and then PR all equals. That means this is an equilateral triangle lah. And the total angle inside the triangle is always 180. And if all three sides sama size means the angle also sama. So 180 divided 3 will give you 60. And guess what? This is also 60. This is also 60. Yeah, because all three sides sama panjang. And then OS is 8. Okay, that one is here, right? Okay, so the 8 is actually the radius of the small circle. Yeah, the inside circle. So OK also 8 lah, because OK is also radius, right? Okay, so far okay. And then A says what? Show that the area of sector OPR can be written as this. Okay, this is a show question. Okay, I remember in the SPM 2024, the kertas SPM sebenar SPM 24, they also asked something like that. But they asked to prove the S equals R theta punya formula. And I remember I did this on my YouTube also. Yeah, I already upload this. It's already on my YouTube. Okay, the SPM 2024 sebenar. And I remember they asked to prove this formula, and I still remember the way to do it. You will take S over theta equals to 2 pi R over 360. Because S is the arc. So and the arc is always directly proportional to the angle. If the angle is very big, then the arc is very big. If the arc very small, means the angle also small. So that's why you can do like that, S over theta, and then equals to 2 pi r. 2 pi r is the circumference of the whole circle. And if it's whole circle, definitely the angle will be 360. And then what happens is you just pindah the theta, hantar atas jadi darab theta, and then here will be 2 pi r over 360, right? And if you're trying to prove the formula S equals r theta, the theta has to be in radian. So the 360 change to radian also 2 pi. And then you cut, you left with r theta. That's how you prove the formula S equals R theta lah. But this question, they're asking to prove the area of sector formula that you learn. The 1 over 2 R squared theta. And guess what? You will use the same method. Same method. But this time, instead of writing S, you will write the big A, which stands for area of sector. And guess what? The area of sector is also directly proportional to the theta. So it will be over theta also. And then equals. And on the other side, you will do the area for the full circle. For the full circle. So what is the area of whole circle? We all know this. It's pi r square, right? You learn this in like maths. Pi r square. And if the area for whole circle, the angle, corresponding angle will be 360. Okay. But of course, you will have to convert this to 2 pi later, because this formula, the theta has to be in radian. So let's convert it. So dia jadi 2 pi. And then now only you move the theta. So it becomes pi r square over 2 pi multiplied with theta. And the pi boleh potong. So when you cut, you left with what? R squared times theta over 2, which is 1 over 2 R squared theta lah. Yeah, so shown. That's how you prove the formula. Okay. Okay, of course, this one I will erase because this is not what they asked for. This one I just want to tell you the similarity lah. Okay, because it comes out in the SPM 2024. So I thought it would be good for me to mention it. So I just mentioned it to you. All right, that's all. Now we can do B. Hence, find the area of the shaded region. Okay, this I think I have to use the information here already. Okay, the shaded region is this small region here and this small region here, right? Okay, can I do like that? Can I take the area of triangle minus area of sector? Is it possible? The answer is no. Okay, the area of sector memang I boleh cari. Yeah, because you have the radius, you have the angle. Yeah, memang you can find the area of sector. And I think I'll find it now. Okay. But the problem with this is you don't have the area of triangle. Yeah. Because the triangle, you don't even have the side. The 8 is not, the 8 is only until like here only. Okay, the whole side we don't know. Okay. So I think maybe later I have to cut it in half and then use the Sokato to help me. Okay, but it's okay. I'll find the area of sector first. Okay, because I already know later I have to take area of triangle minus area of sector. So let's focus on finding area of sector. And which sector? OST. So the formula is 1 over 2 r squared theta, right? The r will be 8 lah. Yeah, that's the radius of the small sector. And then the theta will be 60, but the 60 has to be converted to radian. So 60 times 3.142 over 180. Yeah, they say pi use 3.142. Okay, if you press this, you get 1.047. So that's gonna be what you write here, and then you just press all this. So you get 33.51. But of course, this is not the answer. This is just the area of sector, which is this one. Now I will try to find the area of triangle, and then take the area of triangle minus this. Okay, to find the area of triangle, you need at least one of the you need the panjang of the triangle punya side. But now you don't have the panjang. Sini punya panjang tak tahu. This one also tak tahu. Yeah, the 8 is just, yeah, it's only until T only. It's O until T only. So it's like I don't know this, right? So I think I have to use the right angle triangle to help you. Okay. Yeah, remember this. When you're doing circular measure question, whenever you get stuck, whenever you, how to say, get stuck, it's always right angle triangle. Yeah, it's always like you will use the right angle triangle to help you. So what you will do is, remember they said Q is tangent point. Yeah, so that's gonna be where you create the right angle. You target the center here, you get a 90 degree. And guess what happens to the 60 degree? It's going to be cut in half. So it will become 30, 30. So I will write it like this. This is 30, this is 30, right? And now you end up with a triangle that look like this. So I'm gonna draw it out. So it's like that. This is your O, this is your R, and this one is Q. And then your 90 is here. Okay, what information you have? You know this 30, you know this 60. Okay, do I have any of the side? Okay, this 8. Okay, this side I don't have. Yeah, it's 8 plus with the small tiny plus with TR lah. Okay, but actually I know OQ, right? Yeah, because when you tarik from O to Q, this will be radius also. So the OQ and the OS and the OT should be same. So this will be 8, right? Yeah, so this will help me to find the side here. Okay, or you want to find the side bawah also can. All right, which side you want to find? Okay. Later for the area of triangle, it's a equilateral triangle, right? Because all three sides sama panjang. So you can find out these two sides and then and then here is 60 degrees. So you can use the formula 1 over 2 AB sine C. But of course you have to find your AB first lah, and the AB will be, and that means you find the OR panjang lah. Okay, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you do 1 over 2 times base times height. 1 over 2 times base times height. But if you want to do like that, then you have to find the panjang QR. After find the panjang QR times 2, and then after times 2 you get the base, and then times with height, which is 8, and then times with 1 over 2. Okay, all right, so tell me which formula you want to use. Do you want to find this panjang or this panjang? Actually it's up to you lah, depending on which formula you want to use. Yeah, depending whether which formula you want to use. If you want to use okay, let's say I want to use the 1 over 2 times AB sine C, then I'll definitely find this. Yeah, because once I find this, then I know the OR, then I can straight away do 1 over 2 A times B and then sine 60, right? Okay, so if I want to do this, do like that, then I have to find the OR. That means I have to use sin, cos, or tangent. Okay, there's two angles you have here, right? You have two angles. So you can mana-mana angle pun boleh lah. Okay, let's say I want to use the 30 degree, right? Okay, let's say I use 60 degrees. So you use 60 degrees depan angle kita panggil O, depan 90 kita panggil H, the remaining one kita panggil A, right? So I already have the opposite 8 and I'm trying to find H. So we will use sine. So it becomes sine 60 equals O over H. So it becomes 8 over OR like that. And of course you pindah the OR here, and then sine 60 pindah jadi bahagi, it will become 8 divided sine 60. But sine 60 is sec 3 over 2. So it will be 16 over sec 3. Okay. The reason I know it's sec 3 over 2 is because I hafal the table lah. Because 60 degree is one of the formula, one of the angle that you kena hafal kan in the table. Yeah, the table you hafal the value for 30, 45, 60. Yeah. Okay, what if you choose the 30 degrees? Can also. If you choose the 30 degrees, then your O and A have to switch place. Then you cannot use sine already. Maybe you have to use cos already. But you will get the same in the end, so it doesn't matter. Okay, after I have my OR, now we can find the area of triangle. Okay, I'm gonna continue down here. So the area of triangle, and which triangle I'm finding? OPR. So this is the triangle symbol, OPR. Okay, I'll use the 1 over 2 AB sine C formula. Of course, the AB will be the OR lah, which is 16 over sec 3, and then times is 16 over sec 3 again, and then sine C, and sine C will be the included angle 60 degrees, right? Okay, so make sure the for this formula the angle you write in degrees. Okay, so now what happens? 1 over 2, 16 times 16 is 256. 3 times 3 is just 3 and then sine 60. And then 2 and 256, when you divide, what do you get? Okay, you get 128. So you get 128 over 3 times sine 60. Okay, I'm just going to use my calculator and write in 2 decimal place. So it's 36.95. Okay, so you just write that 36.95 cm square. Okay, now for the final step, area of shaded region. So you will take 36.95, which is the area of the triangle, minus with the area of sector. And berapa tadi sector? This one, right? 33.51. So you have to minus with 33.51, and here you write 36.95. Okay, what you dapat? What you get? Let's use calculator. Minus this. Okay, my calculator give me 3.440. Okay, yeah. If you write in four significant figure, it's 3.440 cm square lah, because it's area, right? Yeah. So this is how I will do it. Hope you understand. All right, that's all. Okay, for number 3, what chapter? Okay, I see indices cert. Okay, so this one is from 4, chapter 4, indices cert and logarithm. Okay, soalan A, they say simplify and then hence show that the answer is always positive for all values of n. Okay, you ignore this first. You jangan tengok ni dulu, you simplify dulu, alright? Because I'm sure after you simplify, then you can answer, then baru you boleh answer this soalan, right? Yeah, so the first step is to simplify this. After simplify, then only think about this. Okay. All right. How do we simplify? Okay, when you're doing indices question or apa indices question or log question, it's always the same. The first step is always the same, which is try to make it same base. Yeah, check the base and jadikan dia sama base. Kalau boleh lah, kalau boleh jadikan sama base, you jadikan sama base, right? And tell me 49 and how you want to change to sama base. You check whether the number can change to any smaller base lah. Okay, tell me 49 can I tukar jadi any smaller base? Yes, can change to base 7. So 49 is 7 power 2. But you have to power lagi dengan n. So you have to write bracket power n. And then later the 2 and n you have to times. Because when the power side by side, you kena darab. And then times with, alright, 1680807. Can I change this to a smaller base? The answer is yes. I can change to base 7. Yeah, because this one you can change to base 7 and this is already in base 7. So I feel like this one also can change to base 7. Okay, but if you're not sure, you can use your calculator. Let me teach you how I will tekan. I will tekan log this one divide log 7. Yeah, just tekan log 16807 divide log 7, and your calculator will give you 5. That means this is 7 power 5. So it's gonna become 1 over 7 power 5. But don't forget, kena bracket because ada lagi power n over 3. And then later this one have to times lah. And then times lagi dengan apa? 7 power. Okay, what is this? 7 power 5n, but got cube root. So it becomes 7 power 5n over 3 also lah. Yeah, because cube root means power 1 over 3. Okay. Yeah, because if one day I tell you a power 1 cube root a, it's actually a power 1 over 3. So if I tell you cube root 7 power 5n is actually 7 power 5n power 1 over 3. So when you times the power side by side, you end up with this lah. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now what? 7 power 2n equals times, this one is 1 over 7 power 5n over 3, and then times 7 power 5 over 3. Alright, and you can see this one is same. So just cut lah. Yeah, can cut, right? Why can cut is because satu atas satu bawah, right? And bila dia bawah means bahagi lah. So ini bahagi ni tinggal satu. So you just left with 7 power 2n lah. Alright, so I'm done with the simplify punya part. Simplify, so this is already in simplest form. So that's the answer. But then they go on and said, hence show that the answer is always positive for all values of n. Alright, how do we show that this thing is always positive for all values of n? Alright, okay, we can show it like this. We can write it like this. 7, okay, we all know 7 power 2 power n is the same as 7 power n power 2, right? But why I write it like this is because we know when we take any number square, you will always get positive numbers, right? And the question asks you to show that the answer is always positive. That's why I write like this, okay? So let's try to sub some n numbers. So the n can be any number, right? So let's 0, 1, 2, dot, 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 or sub with negative even, right? So imagine if the n, let's say, is 1. So if the 7 power 1 is 7, right? But when you square, yeah, you get positive. What if you start with 0? Yeah, it's going to be positive also because 7 power 0 is 1. And then 1 square, yeah, positive. And what if you start with negative 2? Negative 2, okay, 7 power negative 2 is not even negative. 7 power negative 2 is 1 over 49, which is positive. And then you square it like positive also. So yeah, you can see that doesn't matter what number you put inside, you will always get positive. Because even if dalam ni negative, when you square it, it will be positive also. Yeah, because every number square will give you positive. So this is how you show lah. But of course, you have to write a sentence, and I'll write like this. Since x square is always positive, okay, yeah, the answer for x square is always positive. So therefore, 7 power n power 2 is always, follow here, follow positive for all values of n. Yeah, so I think if I write like this, is good enough. Yeah, it's only 3 marks, right? So yeah. So let me read one more time. Since x square is always positive, yeah, because any number square is always positive. That's why 7 power n square will be always positive also for all values of n. Okay. All right. This is how I would do the A. Now let's scroll down. Okay, let's do B. Okay, the B one is still an indices question also, right? Given 9 power this express 1 in terms of x. So what do you think is the first step? I told you already. Just now when I do A question, I told you already. When you're doing indices question, check base. Okay? Check base and samakan base. And how you samakan dia punya base? You try to ask yourself whether the number can change to any smaller base. If you can change to smaller base, then you change lah. Okay, base 9. Boleh tak tukar jadi smaller base? Boleh. 9 can change to base 3. 3 power 2 is 9. But don't forget there's the x plus 1, so you have to put bracket and then power x plus 1. And then later these two power have to times. Over 7 to 9, can I change to any smaller base? The answer is yes. 3 power 6. Okay, 3 power 6. And then bracket, the square root y minus 2, that one have to write beside like that. Okay, and then equals to 1. Okay, the 1, that one just leave it. Actually, the 1 also can change to base 3. It's 3 power 0. But I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because I'm planning to pindah this ke atas nanti. Yeah, I'm planning to, after I take the power here times, after I times the power, I'm planning to take this, pindah atas jadi darab, and then compare both sides. Because both sides, the base sudah sama. Yeah, it's already same base on both sides. So I can compare the power. Yeah, so I plan to do like that. That's why I won't write 3 power 0 here. Okay. All right. So now this power and this power will times together becomes 2x plus 2. Don't forget the 1 also have to times 2. And I told you, right, I'm planning to take this pindah atas. Okay, so I'll pindah atas, but this power have to times. So 6 times square root y will be 6 square root y. And then 6 times negative 2, negative 4. Right? And then the 1 no need to write already lah. Because when you times 1, you just get back itself. So that's how you do it. All right, when you have same base on both sides, a power m equals a power n. Base sudah sama, single base on both sides, you can take the power and then compare macam tu. So that means base 3 and base 3 same already so the power will automatic same also. So we can, since it's already same base on both sides, then we don't have to look at the 3 anymore. Just take the power equals power lah. 6 square root y minus 12. Okay, the soalan asks for y in terms of x. It means y kena single. So y kena single mah. So y single minus 12 pergi. So 2x plus 2 plus 12 plus 14. Y single pindah 6. So it becomes 2x plus 14 divide 6. But I know the 2 and 14, they both can divide by 2, right? So let's factorize completely first. So it becomes x plus 7 and then only over 6. Now can cut lah. So now it becomes y equals, okay, now you hantar the square root. Okay, so it becomes x plus 7 over 3. But when you square, it has to be the everything square lah. Okay. All right, I know the schema stop here. Yeah, this is what they write in the schema jawapan, but I want to expand it. Yeah, I feel like it's better to expand it, and I will expand it. So how do you expand? Atas kena square, bawah pun kena square lah. Okay, 3 square will be 9, and then x plus 7 square will be x square plus 14x plus 49. Yeah, because when you square, it becomes x square, and then you have to take x times 7 times 2. 14x and then 7 square 49. Yeah, so this is how I would write it. Okay, I know the schema stop here. So if you want to stop here, can also lah. But it's just that I don't like it when my final answer is like, how to say, it's like halfway macam tu. Like I still can expand. So that's why I prefer write it like this lah. Okay? But it's not that it's not that important. Yeah, it's not a big deal. So yeah, that's all. Now we can do second question. Okay, this is definitely a third question. Definitely a third question. So because this word only comes out in third. Yeah. So rationalize the denominator and simplify 7 over 7 plus square root 7. In bahasa Melayu, nisbahkan, penyebut dan permudahkan benda ni. Alright, let's talk about what is rationalize first. Okay, rationalize, nisbahkan. Apa maksud nisbahkan? Okay, rationalize ataupun nisbahkan, that means they want you to hilangkan square root. Yeah, they want you to hilangkan square root, but only at the denominator. The penyebut denominator. Denominator means the bottom part of the fraction. Yeah, the fraction bawah, that's called denominator. So what I have to do now, hilangkan square root dekat bawah sini. Okay, okay, sekarang ada square root kan? Okay, macam mana nak hilangkan? Okay, you have to multiply darab dengan dia punya conjugate cert. You have to times with the conjugate cert. And kalau dia ada plus minus, the conjugate cert will be exactly the same thing with the opposite sign. So if it's 7 plus square root 7, then the conjugate will be 7 minus square root 7. And of course, atas pun kena darab benda yang sama lah. That's how you get rid of the square root. Okay, now when you darab, you become what? Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. Okay, 7 times 7 will give you 49. 7 times square root 7, that one will just be 7 square root 7. Right? And then yang bawah, this one you have to do like that. Like one by one. Okay, so let's start with the first one. 7 times 7, that will be 49. Okay, 7 times negative square root 7, that one you don't have to write. Because 7 times negative square root 7 is negative 7 square root 7. And then the next one is square root 7 times 7, which is positive 7 square root 7. So it becomes negative 7 square root 7 plus 7 square root 7. So cut already lah. Yeah, so we don't have, we can skip. That's why I said no need to write. So because they cancel already, becomes 0 already. So you just go skip to the last one. Square root 7 times negative square root 7. That will be negative 7. Yeah, because positive times negative is negative. And then square root 7 times square root 7 is just 7 lah. Okay. Okay. Yeah lah, because square root A times square root A is A ma. You learned before, right? Okay, so after you do this, now you can do the bawah punya lah. Okay, 49 minus 7 square root 7. Okay, ini boleh tekan. 49 minus 7 is 42. And I think that's it. Yeah, there's nothing else I can do already. There's nothing else I can do already. So I sudah berjaya rationalize the denominator. I sudah berjayakan hilangkan square root dekat bawah. Now bawah tak ada square root already. So finish dia lah. That's all. Okay, I don't think you can factorize this already because 49 and 7 you cannot factorize. Well, actually you can factorize out the 7. Can lah. Oh, can simplify further lah, guys. I just realized. Yeah. I can actually factorize out the 7 like that and then potong with the 42 later, right? So when you when you factorize out, it becomes 7 minus square root 7. Because when you divide 7, 49 divide 7 is 7, and then when you take out 7, left with square root 7. And the reason why I do like that is because I want to cut. So you will left with 6 here. Yeah, 7 divided 7 is 1, 42 is 6. So you left with 7 minus square root 7 over 6. Ini baru simplest form. This is the answer in simplest form. Okay. Alright, so that's all for this. Hope you understand. Okay, now I'm at question 5. Okay, I see fx, I see gx. I know already from 4, chapter 1. Function. Okay, there's a story here. So let's read the story. Okay, usually students hate this kind of question one, the story question, right? Okay, let's read. A lab uses an automatic heater that is controlled based on time and temperature. Okay, the temperature of the room after the heater has been on for X minutes is represented by this function. Oh, okay. So this is the formula to find temperature of room after X minutes. Dia yang cakap punya. So let's do some arrow. Yeah. You all know me, right? Like if you all watch my videos regularly, you all know one. Whenever it's story question, I always make sure I put the arrow for in the unknown and I'll make sure I write down what it represents. So the X is how many minutes and the FX answer will come out will be the temperature lah, I'm guessing. Yeah, because they already said the temperature of room after heater. So if I want to know the temperature after 2 minutes, then I just sub the X is 2 here and then tekan this whole thing, then it will come out. Then the answer will be the temperature. Yeah. Okay, while the cooling system, okay, tadi heater, sekarang cooling punya, responds to the temperature by a function or another function that shows the power rate of the cooling system based on the current temperature. Oh, so now the X represents temperature and then the GX represents power rate. Okay, ini soalan yang cakap punya, bukan saya sendiri main tulis. So you read here, it says shows the power rate of the cooling system. So GX is the power rate lah, based on the current temperature. So the X, you have to sub the temperature inside lah. If you want to know the power rate for 23 degrees Celsius, then you just put 23 and then tekan, you get the power rate. That's what it means. Alright, let's do A now. Find the time. It means find X lah. Yeah, and we have to use the FX obviously because the GX tak ada time. Only FX only you can find the time in minutes when the value is same as the room temperature. Wait, I'm not sure if I understand. Let's read in bahasa Melayu. Cari masa dalam minit means cari X. Apabila nilainya means nilai masa lah, sama dengan suhu bilik. Oh, it means find the time, the X, when the X value is same as the temperature. It means your Fx and the X is same lah. Yeah, because if the time, when the value of the time is same as the temperature, it means the time is X, right? And then the Fx is the temperature, but they have to be the same. So Fx equals to X. So this is like you're doing map onto yourself lah. Yeah, it's like you're doing map onto yourself. Remember what is map onto yourself? Memeta kepada diri sendiri. It means your object and image is the same value. So what you do is like the X, you just write it, and then Fx, you masuk the square root. That one is will be square root 5x plus 6, and then you solve for X. Yeah. Okay, square root hantar jadi square. Okay, so high chance ada dua jawapan nantilah sebab ada square kan. Okay, so 5x plus 6, and bila ada square means dia quadratic, so everything on one side equals 0. Okay, I'll choose to pin that on the right side because I don't want my X square to be negative. So plus 5 jadi minus 5 minus 6. So 0 equals, now I press calculator, I'll get two answer, right? Okay, you have to wait for me a bit. So I'll press now the A, I tekan 1, B negative 5, C negative 6. Why the calculator give me like jawapan yang cacat? Did I make any mistake here? Oh, I tekan silap. Okay, let me tekan one more time. Wait for me. A is 1, B is negative 5, C is negative 6, right? Okay, yeah. 6 negative 1. 6 negative 1. Okay, 6 negative 1. Okay, how to write yang baris atas ni, you have to pindah balik kan. 6 hantar jadi X minus 6, and then minus 1 jadi X plus 1. Okay. Alright, whenever I get two answer, I'm always suspicious because I don't know whether I have to take both answer or I have to reject one of it. Okay, so I teach you many times already in all my YouTube videos. I always say the same thing. When you get two answers, make sure you double check with the question and see whether you want to take both answer or you want to reject, right? And how you want to know whether to reject or not, you just check what the X represents lah. So you can see X actually represents the time in minutes. So tell me, time ada negative ah? Tak ada mah, mana ada negative. So reject the negative one. Okay? So now you know the X is 6 minutes. So did we answer the question? Yes, because they asked for time in minutes when the value is the same. So it's 6 lah. Because when it's 6 minutes, that's when the temperature is also 6. That's the answer. Okay, now we can do B already. So B, let's see what I want. Write an expression for the cooling power rate. Kalau tak silap is GX, right? Yeah, because I remember they say here, yeah, GX. But it says in the form of composite function. Tulis satu ungkapan bagi kadar kuasa penyejukan dalam bentuk fungsi gubahan. Okay, we already know the cooling power rate function is the GX, right? But do you remember the G punya X the X actually is the temperature. You remember? Yeah, because the GX function GX is the power rate, but it's based on the current temperature. It means X is the temperature, and the temperature function is the Fx function. That means I will find GFX because this X represents temperature and the temperature is Fx. So you will sub the Fx inside this X here. And guess what? When you replace this X with Fx, this X also becomes Fx. So it becomes X squared plus 4. But instead of writing X squared, you write Fx squared plus 4 like that. Of course, this one you have to use big bracket lah. So now the Fx, you sub this square root 5x plus 6. Yeah, I think this is what they mean by composite function, right? Yeah, just do GFX and then bracket square and then plus 4. Okay, when you see square root and square together, they can cancel out because square root is power 1 over 2. And then when you power 1 over 2, power 2 is just power 1 lah, okay? And then you just left with 5x plus 6 plus 4, 5x plus 10. So that is the answer, 5x plus 10. Okay, for the final part, C, calculate the cooling power rate means find GX lah. Yeah, cooling power rate is GX. When the heater has been operating for 3 minutes, means find 3, X equals 3, right? Okay, well, actually, you cannot use the GX function to do this. Because the GX function, the X have to sub with the temperature. But for this case, they didn't give you the temperature, they give you X, the 3 is X, but you cannot, how to say? Yeah, you cannot sub into this function lah. Because this function is, you have to sub temperature to find power rate. But this question is they want you to use the time in minutes to find power rate. So I think you have to use the composite function to do it lah. Because the composite function, it means this one is GFX lah. Okay, we already know GFX is 5x plus 10, right? So you just find GF3 lah. Yeah, because when you do GFX, then the X can sub with the time in minutes already. Okay, so just find GF3 and then you become 5 times X plus 10, which is 5 times 3. 15 plus 10 will be 25. Okay. Okay, will be the unit? Okay, it's the cooling power rate, but they never say the unit for the cooling power rate, so I'll just leave it like that, 25. Yeah. But for the A, you write the unit lah, because A is time, that one is in minutes. Okay. But for BC, I will not write unit because B memang tak payah. C is like they never tell me the power rate punya unit, so I think I can just leave it like that. Okay, this is good enough. So I'm done. Let's continue. Okay, I'm at question 6. What chapter? Okay, I see sin cos tan. Okay, confirm from 5 chapter 6 lah, trigonometry. Okay, so let's read A1. Prove that 2 tangent cos square theta equals sin 2 theta. So it's a proof question, so I'm gonna prove it here. Okay, always check the left hand side, right hand side, and start from the side that is more complicated. So which side is more complicated, left or right? I know it's left. Yeah, it's definitely left hand side more complicated because a lot of things I can change. The tangent I can change to sine over cos. The cos square also I can use the basic identities. Right? But the right side, okay, right side is sine 2 theta, and I know sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. Yeah, because of the double angle formula, right? Yeah, but that's the only thing you can change, right? So what I'm gonna do is I will start from the left hand side. Yeah, it would be better to start from the left hand side because left hand side is much more complicated. Okay, so now it become 2 tangent theta times cos square theta, and I'll try to change this to become sine 2 theta. Or you can also change it to become 2 sine theta cos theta also can. Because dua-dua ni benda sama saja. Alright, first thing, what you have to do. We don't, of course, we don't want the tangent, right? Yeah, we already know we don't want tangent in our answer. So tangent can change to what? Sine over cos. So let's do that. Okay, what about the cos square? Okay, the cos square actually I can use basic identities, which is you learn in the basic identity sine square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. So that means cos square can change to what? 1 minus sine square, right? But I will not do that. Yeah, I will not do that. It's not smart. It's not smart to change this to 1 minus sine square because you already see the jalan already. Like if you write cos square then baru you boleh potong. And when you potong you left with 2 sine theta cos theta, which match with this already. So it's better to not change lah. That's why when you do proving question, you always have to look at what you want. You have to look at what you want to change, right? Bukan just don't just change whatever you want. Make sure you look at the answer also. Tengok apa yang you mau and then change accordingly. Change according to what you want. Bukan tukar suka hati you tukar macam tu. Alright, so this one I will not change because I want to cut. That's why I left with 2 times sine theta. And then the cos square and the cos when you cut left with cos theta macam tu. And what is 2 sine theta cos theta is sine 2 theta. Then we can write the word proven because this one is already the right hand side. So proven. Yeah, this is how you do the A1. Okay, now I'm gonna do A2, but I need space. How? Okay, I will just do it up here, but I need to make space. So you all wait for me a bit. Alright, I'm just gonna do it for the A2. I'll just do it here because I know this question will need a lot of space. Okay, let's write the soalan first. 6 tangent theta and then cos square theta equals -1 for 0 until 360. Okay, this type of question is the soalan yang suruh cari theta punya lah. Okay, for this chapter, dia ada 4 jenis soalan. 4 types of question. It's either they ask you to find something theta, like sine theta or cos theta or tangent theta, sine something theta. And if they ask you to find something theta, you have to lukis, you have to draw the cross. But if they ask for you to find theta, then the one you tak payah lukis. That one you have to just solve using calculator and then check whether it's normal case or special case. If normal case, find out the reference angle and then change to the quadrant. If special case, don't find the reference angle, just write the answer straight away. Okay, because special case you kena hafal, right? And then the third type of question is the proving graph punya. I mean the proof punya, and then the last one is the graph lah, the graph question. Okay? So this definitely soalan jenis yang mana? Yang suruh solve, so cari theta, right? So tak payah lukis, just straight away solve it yourself. But you will do it using calculator later. Okay, I can see that this is very similar to the A1 because just now when I do the proving, it's 2 tangent theta cos square theta. This one is 6 tangent theta cos square theta. So what I will do is I will divide by 3 because when I divide by 3, now this becomes 2 tangent theta cos square theta, and then this becomes -1/3. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I know 2 tangent theta cos square theta is actually sine 2 theta. So now it becomes so simple already. So now you can just find your theta by moving the sign. Just move the sign over here. So when you move the sign over here, it becomes shift sign lah. But when you tekan shift sign, don't tekan the negative, guys. Right? Yeah, because this one is normal case. It's normal case or special case? It's normal case, right? When will it be special case? Special case is when your sin cos tan answer equals to 0, 1, or -1. And there is 7 special case. Sine 0, sine 1, sine -1, cos 0, cos 1, cos -1, and tangent 0. Yeah, there's 7 special case. And for all the special case I mentioned just now, you have to memorize the answer for all of it. All the 7 cases. But if it's a normal case, you can use calculator. And the way to do that is you write RA first, and then you have to write down the quadrant. Because later you have to change the RA to the quadrant you want. So add sugar to coffee. Your sign answer is negative, so it's quadrant 3 and 4. So I will write the quadrant here, 3 and 4. But now I will find the answer in quadrant 1 first, and then only I convert. Okay, from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2, you have to take 180 minus. 1 to 3, you have to take 180 plus. And then 1 to 4 is 360 minus. Okay, let's get our reference angle first, the RA. So you tekan shift sign 1/3. Don't tekan the negative. Yeah, don't tekan the negative. Kenapa tak boleh tekan negative? Because the negative is just there to tell me which quadrant. So you jangan tekan. Jangan tekan the negative because you're trying to get the reference angle now. So it's 19 degree, 28 minutes. Okay, I usually write in degree minutes one. So for this, I'll write 90 degree, 28 minutes. Okay, so like that. Okay, for those students that want to write in decimal, can also 19.47, right? Same also lah, same also, up to you. Okay, after you get your RA, now you can find the your theta. Actually, it's 2 theta, right? Yeah, 2 theta. And then now you convert to quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So RA is the quadrant 1 angle. If you want to convert to 3 and 4, you have to take 180 plus and 360 minus. So 180 plus with this, you get 199 degree 28. And then 360 minus, you use your calculator. Okay, you will get 340 degree 32 minutes. Okay, but if it's 2 theta, that means you have to take all your answer tambah 360 one time. Yeah, I repeat, if it's 2 theta, you have to find out, you have to take all your answer. There's only 2 answer, but if it's 2 theta, you have to take all your answers tambah 360 sekali. So you'll take this one plus 360, and you will get 559 degree 28 minutes. And then this one plus 360 will be 700 degree 32 minutes. Okay, let me just double check with the calculator. Plus 360, 559. Yeah, correct. 340 plus 360. Yeah, correct. Okay, now for the final step, every answer divide by 2. So you end up with 4 answers lah. And all the 4 answers will be within the range. It will be within this range. It will be in between 0 and 360. Okay, divide by 2. What is this? 99 degree 44 minutes. And then the next one, this one divide by 2, 170 degree 60 minutes. And then the next one is 279 degree 44 minutes. And then the last one divide by 2, 350 degree 60 minutes. Right? And I'll say it one more time. You can write in decimal. Yeah, you can write in decimal if you want. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, 99.73 degree. Yeah, betul lah. Okay, so that's the answer for A2. Okay, done already. Okay, they want the answer between 0 and 360, right? So yeah, all the answer is in between 0 and 360. So okay, already. Okay, let's do B now. Diagram 3 shows a right angle triangle. Where is it? ABD. Okay, where is it? Where is it? ABD. Hey, but ABC is also right angle, right? Yeah, ABC is also right angle. ABD is also right angle. And then they say BCD is a straight line. Mana? BCD. Oh, this one. Okay, understand? Without finding the angle CAD, calculate the value of cos CAD. Oh, like that. Okay, let's find out where's the angle first. CAD is mana? Dia mesti dekat A punya. So CAD. Oh, this is the angle. So they're asking you to find cos this angle. Alright, guys, you cannot straight away do like that. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Cannot. You cannot go like, oh, so the adjacent is 25 and then the hypotenuse, you find out the AD. Cannot. You know why cannot? Because this angle is not inside a right angle triangle. Yeah. That means 25 is not the adjacent. And also the hypotenuse is not this line because this is not even a right angle. Yeah. It's not even a right angle triangle. Dia tak ada 90 degree pun dalam segitiga ni. That means we have to use another triangle to help me. Yeah, because this angle is not inside a right angle. So I definitely have to use other the other right angle triangle to help me, which is this one, right? But how? How? Okay, let's think about this. Okay, first of all, can I find the AB panjang? Yes, by using Pythagoras theorem, right? Okay, let's just find it first. Okay, I don't care whether it will be useful or not. I don't care. Let's just find it. Okay, yeah. So square root bracket square bracket square. So you will take the 25 and 7 here and then minus. Yeah, kenapa minus? Because you are not finding the longer side, right? Okay, you get 24 here. So now you know that's the panjang 24. But how will this help us find this? Okay, don't worry about that. Just find it. Okay, what else I can see? Oh, this angle right here, 30 degrees. And if you look at this big triangle, if this is 30 degrees, this is 90. That means the whole angle here will be 60. Okay, but 60 is like the whole angle, including the theta and including this. Both these angle add together will be 60, right? Because you take 180 minus 90 minus 30, right? Okay, what else? What else? Okay, I think that's it, right? So I think I can start to do it now. So they want to find cos CAD, and I told you already, you cannot find it directly because this angle is not inside a right angle, right? But I cannot use this triangle. If I find cos this theta, it will be 34 or 35. But that one is for this angle. I want for this angle. And this angle is already quadrant 1, right? So I think you have to do it like a very weird way. Yeah, you have to do it like that. You have to do cos 60 minus theta. And then use the addition angle formula. Because, yeah, because you're trying to find cos this angle, right? This angle, you're trying to find cos this angle. And this angle is come from 60 minus theta. Okay? Yeah, because the whole angle is 60, so minus theta, right? And then you will use the addition angle. So you the addition angle, did you hafal? I hafal already. I will tell my students to hafal also this formula. So the formula is cos A cos B minus plus sin A sin B. Okay, but of course your AB is 60 and theta lah. Okay, so now I'll be using this, and later if I need to find the cos theta or sin theta, I will just use this triangle lah. No problem Okay, let's go. So it become cos 60 cos theta. Yeah, because the formula is cos A cos B, so cos 60 cos theta. And then minus plus means minus plus here means don't follow the symbol here. So don't follow means if this one is minus, this one plus lah. And then sin A sin B, so sin 60 times sin theta. Okay, for the cos 60 and the sin 60, I can write it myself. Cos 60 is 1 over 2, sin 60 is 3 over 2. This is because we hafal before it in the table. You remember this angle 60 is an angle that you learned in the table before, right? You remember the table 30, 45, 60. And then this is sine, cos, tangent, right? I remember asking my students to memorize this. Okay, so 60 is one of the angle that you hafal for the sin cos tan. So this is 1 over 2, 1 over 2, sec 3 over 2, sec 3 over 2, 1 over sec 2, 1 over sec 2, 1 over sec 3, 1 sec 3. That is why I know so fast the answer lah. But if you use calculator also, I think they'll give you same also. Okay. But sir, what if I use the diagram to find it? Like for example, cos 60 lah. I use this 60 and then I do addition over hypotenuse. Can also. You will get the same. Yeah, you will get the same. And also it's slow if you do like that. Because if you do like that, you have to find out the AD panjang. And you have to find the AD panjang macam mana. Maybe you have to do like the sin cos tan. Maybe you have to do like sine 30 equals to opposite 24 over the this one and then pindah. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and also you would just end up with the same answer also. So why waste time, right? Yeah, so you just use the table. Okay, so now for the cos theta and sin theta, the one you have to use this triangle. So I'm gonna highlight it for you. It's this right angle triangle. So for the cos theta, it will be adjacent or hypotenuse. Okay, angle is here. Depan angle kita panggil opposite. Depan 90 kita panggil H. And then the remaining last one is the adjacent. So cos theta will be A over H. So it will be 24. Yeah, 24 over the hypotenuse, which is 25. But wait, hold on. After you write this, you have to double check one thing. Positive or negative? Yeah, positive or negative? Positive. Kenapa positive? Because your theta is first quadrant, and when you do cos first quadrant, is positive. Okay? Yeah, memang first quadrant all positive. Yeah, I read it here also. Yeah, first quadrant all positive. But you have to check, sometimes you have to put negative, because sometimes your theta is not first quadrant. Okay? Alright, for the sin theta, it will be positive also, and then but sine is so it will be opposite or hypotenuse, so 7 or 25. And then Positive also lah. Okay, now you can take ini darab ni, and then tambah lah. Okay, so I'll continue here. Atas darab atas will be 24. 24 times 2 is 50. Plus square root 3 times 7 is 7 square root 3. And then 2 times 25 is 50. Okay, they both have the same denominator. So kalau bawah dia sama, tengah-tengah plus, kita boleh combine jadi satu fraction. 24 plus 7 square root 3 over 50. Yeah, that's the answer. Right? Okay, that's all. Okay, this one cannot simplify already, right? 24 and 7, I feel like you cannot factorize any number. Yeah, 7 is a prime number, so you can't factorize. Okay, even if you can factorize also, you have to make sure dia boleh potong dengan 50, then baru you factorize, right? Okay, tapi ini tak boleh simplify dah. So this is already in the simplest form. So let's move on. Okay, I'm at question 7. What chapter is this? Okay, I see fx, I see maximum value. I know already. Form 4, chapter 2, and it's under 2.3. Okay. Okay, this chapter is called quadratic function, and the name of the subtopic 2.3 is also called quadratic function. Okay. This topic you learned about the upper vortex form, and then you learn about the minimum point, maximum point, completing the square, all those jazz. Okay, let's read the question. It is given that fx equals to this. Oh my god, why they write it like this? So I will write this down, but not like that. Definitely I won't write like that because I want it to be in general form, right? Okay, so okay, should I do it down here or up there? Okay, I want to do it up here. Yeah, I want to do it up here. So I will make space. Okay, so let's do A. Let's write down the fx, but let's arrange it nicely. So the negative x square have to write first. This one is p square, so it's not x square. So that one you have to write last kali. And then you have the minus 1, and then the 4px, that one have to, that one definitely is right here. Okay. So this is your general form. So tell me, what is your ABC? Your A is -1, and then your B will be 4p, and then your C is -5p squared minus 1. Okay, now they said this fx has a maximum value -q squared minus 2p. So comma, the max value is -q squared minus 2p. Wait, what is maximum value? Maximum value means the y coordinate of the turning point. Yeah, the y coordinate of the turning point. So later, your turning point will have xy, right? But the y coordinate will be this. That's what it means. Okay. So remember, maximum value means the y coordinate of the maximum point. If minimum value, then it will be y coordinate of the minimum point. Okay. Then, sir, what about the x coordinate? Okay, that one is the axis of symmetry. Yeah. So the other name for the y coordinate is maximum value or minimum value, but the x coordinate, the other name for it is axis of symmetry. Okay, and then it says such that p and q are constant. Okay, no problem. And then A, by using completing the square, show that q equals p minus 1. Okay, it's a show question again. That means this is your final answer lah. Q equals p minus 1. It means I cannot use this as information. I have to just do myself and find the q myself and make sure my q answer same with this. Alright, how do you think you will do it? They already say the method already by using completing the square. And you know why? You know why kena buat completing the square? Because you want to change to what form? To vertex form, right? And then after change to vertex form, you baca you punya turning point and then compare your turning point with this. But of course, you only take the y coordinate lah, because this is only the y coordinate, right? So yeah, you will find out the full turning point and then take out the y coordinate equals to this. That's the plan. Okay. All right, let's start doing completing the square. All right, when you do completing the square, you have to make sure the A is positive. Yeah, kalau A tak ada positif, tak boleh buat completing the square. So what I have to do, the negative I have to pull out. And when you pull it out, you have to write outside the bracket, and then semua orang ni kena tukar tanda. So become x square plus 4 jadi minus 4px, minus 5 jadi plus 5p square, minus 1 jadi plus 1. Right? And now since your A is already positive, now you can do completing the square. And the way to do that is negative big bracket, negative big bracket, negative big bracket. Okay, the big bracket is very important. Yeah, very, very important. So kena buat big bracket, and then you write down whatever inside here, x square minus 4px, and then the gap here and here, you have to write plus bracket square minus bracket square. That's how you do completing the square. So it becomes plus bracket square, and then write down this first, the plus 5p square plus 1, and then baru minus bracket square. And then, of course, you have to close the big bracket. Okay, what you have to write inside the small bracket here? B over 2. Okay, yeah, that's the formula. B over 2. So the B you refer where? You refer beside here. So B will be the number before X. So it'll be negative 4p over 2, negative 4p over 2. Okay, always refer beside. Don't refer here. If you refer here, it becomes positive 4p, then wrong. Yeah, you cannot refer here because the A is not positive. So you have to refer here, the B side. Okay, after you reach here, now what? Okay, you will cover this. Okay, you will cover this. But you don't go and correction tape, or you don't go and do a cross like that. You just use your finger to cover this. Then just focus on this and this. So you can see both number have square, right? So you write bracket, and then the square you can write it outside because they both have square. And then dalam bracket you just write x. And then yang ni dalam apa? Negative 4p over 2. So negative 4p divided 2 is negative 2p. So just write like that. And then the square tak payah square lah, because you already write it outside. So the square no need already. Okay? And then continue lah. Plus 5p square plus 1. Okay, continue with this. Okay, this one, the minus outside, I will tulis siap-siap dulu. And the negative inside the bracket, that one will become positive already because you square already, right? So you just left with 4p over 2 square. But 4p over 2 is 2p. And then 2p square is 4p square. So just left it like this. And remember to close the big bracket. Okay. Yeah, the big bracket very important one. Okay, so now what? Okay, yang belakang ni boleh buat tak? Boleh kan? P square dengan P square. So the big bracket still have to write. And then x minus 2p square. Okay, p square dengan p square boleh buat. 5p square minus 4p square is 1p square. Yeah, 1p square. And then plus 1 and then close the big bracket. Okay, now. Yang ni sudah tak boleh buat already. But you have to get rid of the big bracket. And how you do that? You have to take the negative, multiply. You have to expand lah, basically. So you expand inside. But when you expand, the x minus 2p will stay the same. And then the square will be like this. That's why I say the big bracket very important. Because if you forget to put the big bracket, then you will forget this step. Yeah, you will forget about you will forget to do this. Yeah, the final step, then wrong lah. Okay, so negative kena darab ni, and then darab p square, and then darab 1. But when you darab this, you have to write the negative outside because this bracket ada square, so dia tak boleh masuk dalam. And then for the p square, this one dia akan tukar tanda lah, negative p square and then minus 1. Right? Okay, I'm done. This is my vertex form. Vertex form always look like that. Fx equals some a and then x plus p square plus q. Or some teachers will say hk, same thing lah. Alright, what's the benefit of vertex form? What is the good, how to say? What's good about the vertex form? You can butcher the turning point easily. How you butcher? For the x coordinate, refer here. For the y coordinate, refer here. So for the x coordinate, you refer the p. But when you take it out, you have to tukar tanda, become negative p. And then for the y coordinate, that will be the q. So this is the turning point, the TP. And is it a minimum or maximum? Okay, that one depends on your A. If your A positive, then minimum lah. A negative, then maximum. Right? So that's how you do it. Okay, I'm done with the vertex form, but I'm not done with the question. The question asks to show that Q equals to P minus 1. So what I have to do? Remember they told me the maximum value is this one, right? Negative Q square minus 2P. And I told you maximum value is only referring to the Y coordinate. So what do you think is my Y coordinate? So for the Y coordinate, I will refer here, right? So just take the whole thing here. Negative P square minus 1 equals to negative Q square minus 2P. Like that. Okay. Because for the Y coordinate, we will refer here. And tak payah tukar tanda. Okay. Only when you take out the X coordinate from here, then only you have to tukar tanda. For the Y coordinate, tak payah tukar tanda. Alright, now we can just try to find Q. Okay, we try to find Q, and hopefully my Q answer will match with this. Okay, hopefully. Alright, let's find Q now. So kalau nak Q single, okay, try to make it positive first lah. Negative here, so pindah here become Q square. And then all the rest pindah sana. So negative P square pindah jadi positive P square. And then the minus 2P I'll write next. And then minus 1 jadi plus 1. Yeah, I try to susun jadi general form lah. Okay, now I don't find Q, so I have to pindah square jadi square root, right? So it becomes square root P square minus 2P plus 1. But how you supposed to square root this? Okay, P square minus 2P plus 1. Actually, you can write it as P minus 1 square, right? Let me tell you how I know. It's because of this formula. Okay, I'll just use red color to write it for you. So this formula, when you have a minus b square, it's actually a square minus 2ab plus b square, right? Remember this? So if I have p square minus 2b plus 1, I know I can change to this a minus b square. That's how I know can change to p minus 1 square. Yeah, that's how I know lah. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I want to cut the square root and the square. Then I get this already. Same with this already. Q equals p minus 1. Okay. Yeah. When I'm doing this, I'm actually looking at the answer one because this is a show question. So yeah, you want your answer to be like that. So of course you can just how to say work towards this. That's how I know this thing can change to this. Alright, after you are done, you can write the word shown. Then you are done lah. So the question asks you to show, that's all. Okay, I'll do B down here. All right, the question says, hence find the value of P and Q if the graph of function is symmetrical about the axis at here such that P is bigger than 0. This is the axis of symmetry. I told you just now. Remember just now I explained to you what is maximum value. It's only referring to the y coordinate, right? So the other name for the y coordinate is maximum value. Then what about the other name for the x-axis? I mean for the x coordinate. The axis of symmetry, right? And tell me, if the x is axis of symmetry, what is the axis of symmetry of this? You have to ambil dari mana? Ambil dari P kan? So ambil dari sini lah. Tapi kena tukar tanda. So the negative 2P, when you take it out, become 2P already. It means your axis of symmetry from the equation is x equals 2P. But from the question is x equals q squared minus 1. But they should be the same. So 2P equals to q squared minus 1. Okay? Okay, how to find P and Q now? Well, you remember Q is P minus 1. So yeah, you can sub inside. The Q sub inside P minus 1. But don't forget to square lah. Okay, now you can find P from here already. And then after find P, I believe would be two answers lah, because it's square quadratic, right? But they did mention that the P must be bigger than 0. So maybe I should reject the negative answer lah. And then substitute back inside here to find Q, right? Okay, so that's the plan now. So let's expand first lah. P, okay, when you expand this, you will do P square, and then you will do P times negative 1 times 2, which is negative 1P times 2, negative 2P, negative 1 square is positive 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, and then you just left with 0 equals P square minus 2P minus 2P minus 4P. Okay. Okay, for this type of quadratic equation, you don't have to use calculator to factorize. If you want to press calculator, can also. The A, you tekan 1, B, you tekan negative 4, C, you tekan 0. But you don't need to do that. Because if the quadratic equation has only two terms, you can just factorize using just factorize by yourself. And how you do that? Just check P squared and 4P. You can see they both can divide by P, right? So just pull out the P, just pull out P from both terms, because they both can divide P. So P squared divided by P left with P, and negative 4P divided by P, you get negative 4. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because after I pull it out, you get something times something equals 0. So you can take the first bracket equals 0, and then the second bracket also equals 0. So you just do P equals 0, and then P minus 4 also equals 0. So P is 4. Like that. Okay, if you use your calculator to tekan the ABC, you'll get the same answer also. So yeah. Alright, after you reach here, you have to reject this. And I told you why already, why reject the 0? Because they already said the condition for P is it has to be bigger than 0. It can't be 0. It has to be bigger than 0. So 4 is the answer. Okay, but I still have to find Q. So your Q will be bracket minus 1. Because remember, Q is P minus 1. From where? From here, right? Yeah, Q is P minus 1. Actually, you want to sub here also can, right? Cannot lah. Because if I sub here, yeah, I cannot. This one cannot. Okay, so sub yang atas ni lah. Q equals P minus 1. So P minus 1, 4 minus 1. So your Q is 3. So done lah. P is equals to 4. Q equals to 3. And there's only one set of answers, because the 0 we reject already. Okay? And we reject is because the soalan got mentioned like that. The soalan says P has to be bigger than 0. Okay, now we can do C. By using the value of P in B, which is 4, okay, calculate the value of discriminant of the function. Hitung nilai pembeza layan. Okay, I remember, how to say? I remember telling my students in a recent class lah. Like last week, I teach a class, and I remember teaching about this, asking them to memorize what's discriminant. Okay, discriminant is the B squared minus 4AC. Okay, it's called pembeza layan. So how do you calculate the value of discriminant? How do you calculate the B squared minus 4AC value? Well, first you need your ABC value. Duh, right? If you want to find discriminant, you want to find B squared minus 4AC, you need to have ABC first. Then only you can sub inside, right? But do you have the ABC of the equation? No, because your equation is this, right? And it's not, yeah, so I think I have to, wait, I can refer here, right? Yeah, I can refer here. But don't refer the vertex form punya, because the vertex form will not tell you, will not help when you want the ABC value. If you want the ABC value, you shouldn't take the vertex form. You should take the general form. So fx equals to negative x squared. All right. Fx equals to negative x squared, and it's plus 4px plus 4px minus 5p squared. So plus 4px minus 5p squared, and then minus 1. Okay. All right, this is the equation. But the p actually I know already, it's 4. And they already said by using the value of p in b. So just sub the p for 4. So now you get negative x squared. Okay, this one is fx. Okay, plus 16x. And then 4 squared is 16 times 5, 80 minus 80 minus 1 minus 81. So now you get your fx, you get your general form. Now you can find the discriminant b squared minus 4ac. Okay, now we can masukkan bracket square minus 4 bracket bracket. Okay, usually when we do b square minus 4ac, we do this when we want to know the type of roots. If the discriminant is positive, then it's two different roots. If it's 0, then it's two equal roots. If it's smaller than 0, negative means no roots. But this question, they never ask you to determine the type of roots. So we don't have to check whether the answer is bigger 0 or smaller 0. We just calculate the value, then done already. So the b is 16, the a is negative 1, the c is negative 81. And then when you press, you just press the whole thing and you get negative 68, right? Okay, that means this equation has no roots lah. Okay, but you don't have to write no real roots. Yeah, you don't have to write that because they only ask for the value of discriminant. Okay, okay, what if I change the question? I says, I took out the soalan, I say, determine the type of roots of this function. Then you have to, after you do this, then you have to write smaller 0 and then here you have to write no real roots. Or you can say imaginary roots, same thing. Okay, but this question never asked for that. That's why I just stop here. They only want the value of discriminant. So this is the value of discriminant. All right, I'm done. Okay, now we are at bahagian B. So bahagian ini mengandungi 4 soalan, jawab 3 soalan. Okay, in this video, I will jawab all the 4 questions. Okay, yeah, for bahagian B, I'll jawab all 4. All right, let's do number 8 now, linear law. So Form 4, Chapter 6. Yeah. Table 1 shows the values of two variables, x and y, obtained from an experiment. Okay, the variable x and y are related by this equation such that p and q. Okay, everything here is useless. Only the equation only it will be important. And when we are doing linear law question, I always teach the same way. Always change the equation to linear form first. Even if the question never asks, also change to linear form first. Because if you don't change, later you cannot do your part C. Okay, in this case, okay, in this question they put it at part B1. Because B1 they ask to find value of P and Q. And in order to find PQ, you first have to change the equation to linear form, right? And usually I like to teach my student to do it first. Yeah, and the first step. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I will not do the A. Yeah, I will not plot. I will change the equation to linear form. So I'll just do it here lah. So y equals to PQ power x minus 1. Alright, when I change to linear form means I want it to be y equal mx plus c. Right? And I want my equation to match with the y-axis. Right? And if you want to know what's the y-axis, x-axis, you can always tiru sini. Yeah. Because the soalan will always tell you plot something against something, right? Then you can know already lah, the y-axis and the x-axis. So the y-axis has to be log y and then x minus 1. So if you want the equation here to be same with this, to have log y, that means you have to tambah log. But when you tambah log, you have to tambah both sides. And it has to be base 10. Okay, yeah, because you want it to match with this. So this will be y, and then this one will be p cube power x minus 1. Alright, your y-axis in the equation already matched with the y-axis, but now you have to make sure the right side has to be written in the mx plus c format. Okay, so y equals mx plus c format. So this one how to write in the mx plus c. Okay, now you can see it's like everything combined together, everything campur together. So we don't want that, we want it to be separate. So is there any formula we can use to separate it? Yes, we can use the law of logarithm we learned. Single log times separate log plus. So it becomes log 10p plus log 10q. And where the power go, can letak depan. So now we just arrange a bit. Log y equals, okay, y equals mx plus c. So obviously we have to write this first. But I will write log q times with x minus 1. And then plus with log p. Yeah, because I want my x-axis to be x minus 1, right? Now you can write y equals mx plus c already. Okay. You can double check y-axis log y. Okay, sudah ngam. X-axis x minus 1, sudah ngam. That means your gradient and y-intercept pun sudah ngam lah. So this is your gradient log q and this is your y-intercept log p. And you need this when you do the B1 later. Okay. Yeah, because when you do B1, you want to find p and q. So later log p is y-intercept, log q is gradient lah. And then you find the gradient and y-intercept from the graph. And then you do the shift log. Yeah, do shift log and then you get the answer. Okay, that one I will do later. Now for the next step, draw table. Yeah, draw a new table because this table that they give us cannot use already. This one is y against x, but now your y-axis, x-axis already modify, become log y and the x minus 1. So you have to draw a new table, the brand new table. So the brand new table and got how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. Okay, so here will be x minus 1. Yeah, that's the new x-axis, and then the new y-axis is log y. Okay, all right. what we have to do here is find out the value lah. So 4, that's the x, but I want x minus 1. So 4 minus 1, 3. And then this one, the rest all have to minus 1. So it become 3.5. And then this one minus 1 become 4. This one minus 1 become 4.5. Okay, and then 6 minus 1 become 5. And then the last value, the last one is 6.6 minus 1, 5.6. Okay, now we can find out the log y value. So just tekan log all of this lah. Alright, I'm not gonna waste your time. I'll just tell you the answer straight away. Oh, remember write in 2 decimal place, because later this one is a graph question and you have to plot the point later. So highly recommend you just write 2 decimal place. Okay. Remember, for graph question, always write 2 decimal place. If you want to plot the point, you will always write in 2 decimal place. So log this, base 10, 1.40, and then the next one is 1.53. And then the next one is 1.68, and then this one is 1.83, and then next one is 1.98, and then this one is 2.14. Okay lah, this one nothing for me to teach. This one you just press calculator only. So just use your calculator, tekan. Okay, after you're done with all this, now only you do part A. So remember, in SPM, when you do linear log question, you have to always do these two steps, even if the question never asks. Step number 1 is changing to linear form. Step number 2 is drawing a new table. Okay, because without these 2 steps, you cannot do your part A, part B, or maybe sometimes they put at part B, part C. Yeah, so these 2 steps kena buat dulu. Okay, now baru you buat part A. Plot log y against x minus 1 using a scale of this and this one. On the log y axis, draw the line of best fit. Okay, the way I teach my student is I will always discuss with them where to put the origin first. Yeah, where to put the cross, the 0 kena letak mana. So the way to determine that is you look at the value. So ada tak nilai negative? If tak ada, if semua positive, then you put at the bottom left corner. Okay, yeah, you can see all positive, right? So you put at the bottom left corner, and this will be a x minus 1. This will be a log y. Okay, now the scala. Let's think about the scala first. So 2 cm per 1 unit on this axis. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the highest value go until 5.6. So you can go until 6 lah. Right. Now for the y-axis, they say 2 cm to 0.2. So start with 0.2 and then you keep going until what's the highest? 2.14. So you go until 2.2, right? But wait, cukup tempat ke? Okay, sini cukup lah. Because I know the graph paper horizontal ada 8 kotak. So 1 to 6 memang cukup. But the vertical, your graph paper only have 12 kotak. Sometimes even 11 kotak. So I feel like this one tak cukup. Yeah, tak cukup. Okay. And also I see there's a problem here. There's a problem with this. If you look at the 2.14, that's the highest value, of course. But if you look at the lowest value is 1.4. That means if I go 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1.0, 1.2, 1.4, the first 7 kotak we tak guna langsung tau. Yeah, the first 7 kotak we tak guna langsung because we skip, like the smallest value is 1.4. Okay. So later, this is my graph paper, and it will be very funny because uh yeah, the graph is only like that. You faham ah? Because the lowest also 1.4. So from 0.2, all these points we never use. Okay, all this is like kosong. So what we can do now, how to fix this? Okay, we can choose not to start from 0 here. Yeah, I remember teaching this to my student also. Yeah, like for my class punya student, I pernah bagi tahu all this. If you, because your graph has to be occupy half of the graph paper. Yeah, your graph has to, it cannot be too small, it cannot be too big, it has to be like more than half. So if your graph is just like that, then all this space for what? All this space for what, right? So what you can do is don't start at 0 lah. You can start from the smallest value, but make sure you leave some space for the y-intercept. Make sure you leave some space for the y-intercept. So the lowest value is 1.4, right? But so you what you can do is like the 0 you write here. Okay, the 0, that's for the x-axis, which is 1. Okay, let's use red color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's for the x-axis. Okay, but for the y-axis, it will be different. Instead of starting from 0, I will start from, because I know all the space here, no use. So 1.4, right? So but I have to leave some space for the y-intercept. Okay, I have to leave some space. So 1.4, if I turun, it become 1.2 because it's 2 cm to 0.2, right? So if I minus 0.2, I get 1.2, but minus lagi, you leave like 4, how to say? You leave like 4 kotak before the 1.4. Okay, so minus 0.2, 1.2, minus lagi 1.0, minus lagi 0.8, minus lagi 0.6. So I recommend you to start from 0.6. Okay, okay, so what I'll do is I will start from 0.6 here. So this will be your 0.6, and then this one 0.4 lah, like that. Okay, like that, and then baru 0.8, and then you slowly go up 1.0, and then 1.2, and then 1.4. Yeah, just plus 0.2 lah. 1.6. Okay, what's the highest value? Okay, the highest value go until 2.14, right? So you have to keep going until you reach 2.0 and 2.2. This is enough. Okay, nice. This one is the log 10y. Okay. All right. With that, finished. You have your axis already lah. Okay, let's draw the line now. Okay, so it's like that. And then yang atas punya. Okay, so it will look like this, your axis. Okay, so this one is your x minus 1. Okay, so I repeat one more time, why I have to leave some space here. Okay, the graph starts at 1.4, right? But why I have to leave all this space is because I want to leave some space so that, because later your graph will be like this. So you want to leave space so that your y-intercept will, you leave space because for the y-intercept lah. Yeah, for the y-intercept to be here. Okay. Yeah. So I think I can start plotting now. So let's plot the first point. 3, 1.40. So just go 3 and then cari 1.4 lah. Okay, this is an easy point to plot. It's just here. 3 is here, 1.4 is here. So that's your first point done. Okay. Okay, now for the next point, what is it? Wait. 3. Yeah, betul lah. Okay, next one. 3.5, 1.53. Okay, where's 3.5? Okay, 3 and 4 middle is 3.5. 1.53. Okay, you can naik sampai 1.5 first. This is 1.5. 1.4, 1.6 middle, right? Okay, 1.5 naik satu kotak is 1.52. And then naik lagi half lah. Then that's because you want 1.53, right? So I repeat, 1.5 naik satu and then naik half. Okay. Okay. Wait, did I make a mistake here? 1. Yeah, betul lah. Because the difference here is 0.2, right? So if you take 0.2 divide 10, then satu kotak kecil is 0.02. So 1.5 naik satu is 1.52, and then naik lagi satu 1.54, 1.53. Yeah, betul lah. Yeah, correct. Okay, next one. 4, 1.68. Let's go. 4 is here. 1.6. 4 is here. And then 1.68, that's gonna be, okay, you can naik sampai 1.7 dulu. Okay, 1.7 is here. Yeah, the midpoint of 1.6 and 1.8. And then this one is 1.7. But I want I forgot what I want just now. 1.68. Oh, okay. So this is 1.7, right? This one, the dot. So you turun satu kotak lah. Set already lah. Okay, so let me erase the dot. Okay, so this is the 1.68. But the dot, that one is 1.7. So I'll erase that. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, for 1.78. All right. Now 1.68, sorry. Okay, now next one, 4.5, 1.83. So let's go. 4.5 dekat mana? Okay, 4.5 is 4 and 5 punya middle. And then 1.83 okay, you can go until 1.8 and then naik 1.5. Yeah, because 1.8 naik 1 kotak is 1.82 and then naik lagi half is 1.83. All right, almost finished. 5, 1.98. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 5 is here. 1.98, that's gonna be, okay, you can naik sampai 2.0 and then turun satu kotak lah. Why turun satu? Because 1.98 is 2.0 minus 0.02. That's why it's 2 naik turun satu kotak. Yeah, satu kotak is 0.02. Okay, for the last point, let's go. 5.6, 2.14. Okay, 5.6, 2.14. Okay, guys, where is 5.6? Okay, 5 and 6, the difference here is +1. That means satu kotak kecil here is 0.1. So if I want 5.6, it will be middle, which is 5.5, tambah lagi satu kotak here, 5.6. And then 2.14 will be 2.0, tambah satu kotak will be 2.02. And then tambah is 2.04, 2.06, 2.08, 2.1. But I want to send at 2.14, so naik lagi 2 kotak. So it's here. Okay, let's double check. 5.6. So it's 5 and 6 punya middle tapi tambah 1 kotak. So 5 and 6 middle tambah 1 kotak. And then 2.14. So it's 2.1, which is here 2.1. Naik 2 kotak. Ya, betul lah. Okay, I'm done with the coordinates. Now it's time to join and draw the line of best fit. Okay, when you draw the line of best fit, your line doesn't have to touch every single point, but you have to make sure your line touches the most point and try, and the point yang tak sentuh, try to make it balanced lah. Okay, so let's try to draw it. Of course, if you can sentuh semua point, then it's good lah. Alright, is it possible to make it touch all the points? Well, actually it's possible. Okay, yeah, just adjust a bit, then it can happen. So I'm gonna adjust a bit. Alright, is this good? Okay, wait, just like that. Mm, okay. I realized that 1 point tak ada sentuh, or 2 point tak ada sentuh. Yeah, so I can see that it touches this point, the first point, and then the third point also touch. This one is like bawah sikit lah. And then this one touch also. This one also touch. Okay. But this one never touch. Okay, so this one never touch. This one also never touch. But it's okay because this one dia bawah sikit saja. And then this one dia atas sikit. So you can see it's balanced lah. Yeah, the distance bawah garisan and the distance atas garisan, they will cancel out each other. So this is fine. Yeah, sentuh 4 point, 1 point bawah, 1 point atas. So yeah, this is my line of best fit. Okay, and of course you have to make sure you draw on the y-axis because you need to use the y-intercept to do the next part later. Okay, so now you understand why I cannot start from 1.4 here, because you have to make sure what you have to make sure you leave space for the y-intercept. Okay, so done already. Oh, have to write the tajuk, right? So the tajuk graph of, so you have to write siapa against siapa, log y against x minus 1, and then underline that. Okay, this is how you get full mark for the graph part. Now we can do B. Okay, so this one can erase already. Okay, so part A done, right? Draw the line of best fit, 5 marks. Okay, done already. Now let's do B1. Okay, using the graph in 8A, find the value of PQ. Remember just now I said change linear form first? I said if you don't change, you cannot do your part B, right? So now you have to use this working to help you. So the P and Q come from the gradient y-intercept, but your gradient is actually log Q. So you have to write log 10Q equals gradient. And then later find the gradient from the graph, and then use the formula y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. And then after that, you will get some number here. And then you can find Q lah. Just pindah the log. And then when you pindah the log base will become the number base. It means you will tekan 10 power answer. Yeah, you will tekan 10 power this. Okay. What about the P? So the P, you get the y-intercept, but the log P is y-intercept. So log 10P equals to the y-intercept. And the y, you have to use the big Y lah, because the y-axis already modified. So you have to use the big Y. And then later for the y-intercept, you tengok daripada graph, and then write it here, and then do the same thing, do anti-log. Pindah the 10, and then become 10 power answer. Okay. All right, let's do this now. First step, I need the y-intercept. So y-intercept, let's baca now. So it's actually 0.6 turun 3 kotak. This is my y-intercept, right? Okay, so it's at 0.6. Turun 1 is 0.58. And then turun 56, turun lagi 54. So that is my y-intercept, 0.54. So I'll just write here. And then how to find P? Just pindah the log base. Do anti-log. When you do anti-log, the log base become power base. So it become 10 power 0.54 like that. So now you just tekan 10 power 0.54. Okay. Okay, you can also tekan shift log. Shift log 0.54 can also. Same thing. Alright, my calculator give me 3.46. Okay, let's write 4 significant figure. So 3.467. The next digit is 3. So we don't need to round off. So that should be it. Alright, that's my P answer. Now, what about my Q? So find gradient, right? Okay, I will find. I have to use 2 points on the that passes through the line. Okay, I think I can use this point, the y-intercept, right? Yeah, 0.54, right? Okay, so I can use this point, and for the other point, I can choose any other points I want, right? Okay, I'm gonna use this point at the 5 punya. Wait, uh, if I use the 5 punya, mm, uh, okay, let's use the 6 punya. 6 punya tak sampai. Okay, so which point you want me to use? Okay, if I use the 5 punya, dia tak sentuh kan? It's like in the middle. That's why I tak mau ambil 5 lah. But if I ambil 4 later 4 minus 0, I have to divide 4. Okay lah, can lah. I ambil 4 punya lah. Yeah, because the 4 punya point, dia ada sentuh kan? And it's exactly at 1.68. Yeah, it's actually the 1.7 turun satu kotak. And the line also ada passes through. So yeah, we can straight away take this. Okay. So these 2 points we will do. So what we will do is we will use dotted line, join them like this, and then you have a right angle, right? Now you can use the gradient formula lah. Y2 minus Y1, 1.68 minus 0.54. So 1.68 minus 0.54 over with the x coordinate 4 minus 0. Yeah, like that. Okay, so press all this in your calculator, and then let's see what we get. Okay, my calculator give me 0.285. Okay, 0.285. So that is the gradient, but that's not the answer yet. I want Q. So log Q is the gradient. So how to find Q? Do like just now, same also lah. Do anti-log. So when you pindah the log base becomes the number base. So 10 power answer. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna do fast. Tekan straight away. 10 power answer. You can also tekan shift log answer. Same also. Okay, 1.9275. So 1.928. Yeah, I'll just write 1.928. Just write 4 significant figure lah. Okay, this is my answer. So I'm done with this part. Now we can do the B2 part. Okay, the B2 part, I'll do it here. Okay. Okay, this working is the working before A punya. Okay. Yeah, the table and the linear form. This one is like you have to do it even before A. Okay. Yeah. So the B working is down here lah. Okay, B2. Find the value of x when y is 15.85. But your y-axis is not y, it's log y. So I have to convert jadi log y dulu lah. So dia akan jadi when y equals 15.885, and you have to find out the value for log y first. After you get the value for log y, then baru you pergi graph tarik. But when you pergi graph tarik, you will not get x. You will get x minus 1. Then only you take the answer plus 1 to get x. Yeah, because your x-axis is x minus 1, right? So now I'm going to press log 15.85, and let's write 2 decimal place because you have to pergi graph cari nilai ni. So log base 10 15.85. Okay, 2 decimal place 1.20 lah, or 1.2 lah, you can say. Okay, so now you know you have to go to the log y-axis and cari 1.20. So 1.2 is here, and then you just draw a dotted line until you reach the line. Okay, I can see it's exactly here. So I'll just put a dot now and then tarik bawah. Okay, so when you tarik bawah, that will tell you the x minus 1 punya value. So the x is at 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. But that's x minus 1. Itu bukan x, itu x minus 1. So your x minus 1 is 2.3. So our x minus 1 is 2.3. Then how to find x? 2.3 plus 1. So 3.3. So that's the answer. Alright. Sudah siap? Okay, let's do number 9. What chapter is this? Probability at least. Okay lah, this one is from 5. Chapter 5. It's called probability distribution ataupun taburan kebarangkalian dalam BM. Okay, the probability of a student owns a smartphone is P. Alright guys, when you do this, we always want to know whether it's a normal distribution or binomial. If it's normal, we have to use the z-score table. If it's binomial, no need to use the z-score table. So, how to know whether it's normal or not normal? If the question got the word normal, then it's normal lah. If tak ada means tak ada. So, if you scan the whole question, actually tak ada perkataan normal pun. So, this one is binomial distribution punya soalan. So, we will not be using the z-score table to do this question. So they say probability smartphone is P. So for this information, I'll just write like that. Probability of smartphone is P. So yang pakai smartphone punya probability is P. It means they don't want to tell you lah the P. And then the sample of 7 students is selected at random. That's the N lah. Yeah, when you're doing the binomial distribution, you need to find out the NPQ. And then baru boleh guna formula probability. Yeah, because the formula for probability is Px equals X, NCX, P power X, Q power N minus X. Yeah, this is the formula we will be using later. Find probability. Okay, for binomial distribution, we will always use this. Alright, number one, if the probability of all students own a smartphone is 0.02799, find the value of P, give your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Oh, 1 decimal place. Okay, very rare. Usually it's like 3 decimal place, 4, but this one they want one only. Okay, fine. Alright, so what's the first step? Make sure you know your NPQ lah, of course. So the N is 7, yang tu confirm, but what is your P and what is your Q? Alright, this one they actually give you the probability. That means later when I baca jadual, I have to baca jadual pula. Tak ada baca jadual. Yeah, it's not normal distribution. So later you actually already have the probability. It's 0.02799, and that one you have to write outside here, 0.02799. Okay, and inside here, that one is for probability of all students own a smartphone. So it means own smartphone will be the probability of success, and then the Q will be 1 minus P. Like that, right? And then now what you do? You will use the formula. Okay, this one will be first write the big X first. Yeah, I always teach my students to write the big X first. Okay, so what's the big X? It means you write down all the possibilities. So out of the 7 students, there maybe 0 success. Success means pakai smartphone. Because the probability of success is probability of smartphone. So out of 7, maybe 0 success means 0 pakai smartphone, or maybe 1 saja yang pakai, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. 7 means semua 7 orang tu, 7 tu pun pakai smartphone. 7 pun sukses. Macam tu. Okay. So now they want to find probability of all students. So you find Px equals 7 lah. Like that. Okay, even though you don't have the probability for success and failure, but it's okay. Because when you find Px equals 7, you can cut. Yeah, you can cut. Because it will be 7C7, right? And then bracket, and then sini masuk P, sini masuk Q, right? And you don't even have to, okay lah, you want to write 1 minus P also can. But it doesn't matter because later this will cut. So the power here, same with the number down here, and then 7 minus 7 will give you 0, equals 0.02799. So this is what I mean by that. You see, you can cut, because when you power 0, you get 1. So it doesn't matter what you write here, because you just end up cutting it. 7C7 also 1. So now you can find P lah. So you pindah the kuasa 7, dia akan jadi punca kuasa 7. Or you can say the 7th root of 0.02799. Okay, come, I teach you how to press this. First you press 7, and then you press the shift power button. So 0.02799. Okay, my calculator give me 0.59999 like that. Okay, but they say 1 decimal place, right? So imagine if you round off to 1 decimal place, it will be 0.5, but the next number is 9. So you just plus 1, 0.6. Okay, now you have your P. That means you can find your Q already. So later when you do question 2, you might use it. So let's write down N is still 7, but your P is 0.6, Q is 0.4. But make sure you know that the 0.6 is probably yang pakai smartphone. Yang own smartphone. Okay, now let's see question 2. Find the probability that at least 2 students own a smartphone. It means they want Px bigger or equals 2. Yeah. Px at least, so bigger equals 2, right? Same thing also, I will always tell students, write down the big X, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why is it important to write this? Because usually students will forget about the 0. That's why I always scold my students when they don't write this. Okay, yeah, so don't try to risk lah, just do the full working. Even though saya cikgu pun saya ada tulis, so you pun tulis lah. Alright, Px bigger equals 2 means the 2 will have to include, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what it means by at least 2. It means from 2 onwards, semua 2 onwards, and then kena ambil lah. Okay, if you do like that can also, but it's very slow, because you have to use the formula banyak kali, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Yeah, you have to do for all this and then pass everyone. So it's very slow. So there's a faster way. Just take 1 minus Px equals 0 and minus Px equals 1. Because the total probability is always 1. So just ambil 1 minus dengan yang you tak mau lah. Yang you tak mau is probability for 0 success and 1 success. So minus Px equals 0. And this one you masuk formula lah. 7C0 bracket 0.6 power 0 and then 0.4 power 7. And then for this, okay, can I tiru? Can I tiru this? Cannot, right? This one is for probability for x equals 7. So it's not the same. So I think I have to do it again lah. Okay, 0.6 power 1 and then this one is 0.4 power 7 minus 1, 6. Okay, now it's time to press. Okay, this one is 1, this one is 1. So just tekan 0.4 power 7. So you will get 0.00. 16384. Okay, I know your calculator give you times 10 power negative 3, right? That means you have to take your decimal point, move to the left 3 times. Okay. Okay, minus lagi. Okay, yang ni pula tekan dapat apa? 0.0172032. Okay, usually I write 4 significant figure, but it's just 2 more numbers, so that's why I just write it also. Okay, now I will, okay, this one is 32, huh? Okay, now I will take 1 minus everything, so the final answer comes out already 0.9812. Okay, let's double check and see whether they ask for probability. Yes, find probability. So yeah, that's the answer. Okay, why I have to double check? Because some questions they might say find percentage or maybe find number, right? If they say find percentage, then you have to times 100, so it becomes 98.12%. And if they want to find number of students, they will give you the NA or the NS in the question, and then you have to use the formula PA equals NA or NS formula. Okay, itu kalau dia tanya bilangan, number. Okay, but for this question I'm done already. That's all. Okay, soalan B, let's go. Alright, A dia tanya binomial, right? So B high chance they will ask for normal distribution already. So in a charity running event with 300 participants, what did I say? What did I say? I just told you, I predicted this. Oh my god. Remember just now I said for this answer, you have to double check what they want. Sometimes they didn't ask for probability. Sometimes they might ask for percentage or number, right? And if they ask for number, what they will give you? They will give you the NA or the NS in the question. And you see, right after I say that, it comes out already. 300, so that's the NS. It means later you might high chance tak confirm high chance you'll be using this formula PA equals NA or NS. Okay, macam mana nak confirmkan whether kena guna formula ni ke tak? Just look at here. Find probability. Okay, so tak payah lah. Find the value of H. But they give you 48, right? So yeah, we have to use this formula later. Okay. Yeah, this is the simple probability punya formula. Okay, tak apa, baca soalan first. So 300 is definitely the total lah, the NS. NS. Okay, the time taken to run is normally, you see the word normal already mah. So later I have to use the Z score table. So we need the Z score table for this. And we have to convert to Z later. But they have to give you the mean and standard deviation to do that. So the mean they give you already, yeah, 25, nice. Variance 81. Okay, in normal distribution, the variance, we don't use it. Yeah, we don't use variance. So let's convert this to standard deviation. How to convert? Just square root. Because you know standard deviation is square root variance. So square root 81 will give you 9. Okay. And then now it says participants will not be awarded any points if the running times exceed 34. So if you're running, if your how to say? If your running time exceed 34 minutes, you will not be awarded any points. Okay, more than 34. Okay, now with that, let's do question 1. If a participant is chosen at random, find probability that the participant does not get any points. So they already said, right, does not get any points means your running time exceeds 34. So I can write P and then let the X represents the running time exceeds 34 lah, like that. But now you have to convert to Z. And after you convert to Z, refer the Z score table to get the probability. So it becomes Z bigger than 34. Okay, minus mean bagi standard deviation, so minus 24 over 9. So now you press this and see what you get. So you definitely it's a positive value. So it will be 1. Okay. Okay. If it's already Z bigger positive, then you can straight away baca the jadual already. You don't have to lookcase. If you want to lookcase, can also lah, but it doesn't. You don't have to do any extra step lah. You don't have to do like 1 minus or do anything already. Because if it's Z bigger positive, straight away can baca already. Okay. Alright, how to baca Z bigger one? Okay, this is your Z score table. You kena baca dari luar or baca dari dalam? You have to baca dari. Okay, yang dalam is the probability answer. Yang luar is the Z value. So tell me, this one is the what? The one is the Z value, right? So you have to baca dari luar lah. Because you're trying to find probability mah. So you have to baca dari luar and then yang dalam is the answer. So baca dari luar, pergi luar cari 1.00. 1.00. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up to the jadual now. Alright, you can get the answer very quickly one. I see it already. 1.00. Sini. This is the answer. 1.00. So the probability answer is 0.1587. Okay, you don't have to tolak with anything because dia tak ada 3 decimal place. This one is only when you have 3 decimal place. Then baru you kena tolak. Okay, so 0.1587 is your answer. Okay. Okay, let's double check whether they want the probability or not. Okay, so let's erase this. Okay, let's double check. Let's read the soalan. Find the probability. Okay, that's the answer. Okay. Okay. And tell me why kenapa kena double check? Because sometimes the question might ask for what? Percentage, or maybe sometimes ask for number. If they ask for percentage, we have to times 100. Okay. If they ask for number, then maybe you have to use the NA and S punya formula lah. Okay. Okay, but for this, you just stop here enough. Okay, medals were awarded to the first 48 participants who take less than H minutes to finish the run. Find the value of H. Okay, if 48 participants take less than H minutes, that means your NA is 48 lah. Betul lah? Your NA is 48 lah. But this 48 is out of 300, right? So you can actually find the PA already, which is 48 over 300. But I recommend you write in decimal, because later, because in this chapter you do use the Z-score table, and the Z-score table, everything is in decimal. So it will be 0.16. And be more specific, this 0.16 is probability of what? Yang dapat medal. Okay, yang dapat medal. Ataupun yang take less than H minutes. So that means PX less than H equals to 0.16 lah. Okay, because this 48 is not the probability, it's just the bilangan student. So that's why you have to divide with 300 to get the probability first. Then only you have your probability, then only you can write PX less than H equals 0.16, and then you can find H lah. Okay, but later when you baca jadual for this, you have to baca dari dalam already. How come? Because this question you have the probability. Yeah, the 0.16 is the probability, and you're trying to get the Z value. That's why you kena baca dari dalam. Bukan macam tadi lah. Tadi you baca dari luar kan. Ini kena baca dari dalam. Okay, but before you do that, you have to change to Z value, and then make sure it's Z bigger positive first. Alright, so Z smaller than H minus mean 25 over standard deviation equals 0.16. And then kalau dalam tak boleh buat, I selalu ajar student saya, let C equals H minus 25/9, and then rewrite the whole thing. Pz smaller than C equals 0.16. Okay, when you reach here, you have to lukis. Yeah, you have to lukis. Because you have you tak boleh baca jadual tau. You tak boleh baca sekarang. Sebab kalau you nak baca jadual, you kena make sure dia Z bigger positive. Sekarang dia Z smaller, and then also the C also I don't know is positive or negative. So that's why you cannot baca, you have to lukis. And you have to lukis berapa kali? 2 kali. Why 2 kali? Because you don't know whether it's negative or positive. That's why you lukis 2 kali. Satu jadikan C negative, satu jadikan C positive, and then later see which one is correct lah. It means later I'll reject one of this. Okay, one of this will be wrong later. Okay, let's lower it first. Smaller means you lower it to the left. Smaller means lower it to the left. Okay, now after you shade the region, now it's time to find out whether your C is positive or negative. How to know whether positive or negative? Look at the probability answer, or you can say the area answer. Area and probability is the same thing in this topic. All right, so the area now, or you can say the probability is 0.16. Okay, it's less than 0.5. If it's less than 0.5 means you will take the small region. So this is the correct one. So I will reject this. Yeah. Because tak logic kalau area sini 0.16. Because this is already more than half. So the area should be more than 0.5. So this is the wrong one. So now you know your C is actually negative. And once you know your C is negative, I recommend you to straight away go to the last baris and tulis siap-siap C equals negative like that. Yeah, that's how I teach my student also. Kalau tak, you will forget about it, and then if you forget the negative, then rugi already. Okay, so tell me, if your Z is smaller than negative, what can you do? Do I have to take 1 minus? The answer is no. If it's this case, then have to take 1 minus. Because the shaded region, when it cross over the vertical axis, you have to take 1 minus. But if it's this case, don't have to take 1 minus. Then how to do? Just flip the smaller negative, just flip jadi bigger positive. Kenapa boleh flip macam tu is because the bell shape is symmetrical. So when it's smaller negative C, it's same as bigger positive C. That's why I can flip. Okay. So now you know, now it's already Z bigger positive. Now you can baca jadual. Okay. Okay. But when you baca jadual, make sure you baca dari dalam lah. And then you pergi dalam cari 0.16 ataupun lebih sikit. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna scroll to the jadual now, and then look for 0.16 ataupun lebih sikit. Okay. Alright, I see 0.0, 0.16, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 11. This one, right? Okay, what's the one before? 1587. That one cannot. So this one, 1611. But I want 0.16 only. So I have to minus 11. So look for 11 here. Oh, don't have 11. Only have 10 and 13. So choose the closer one. So which one is more near to 11? 10, right? So this is the one. So what would be your answer? Okay, your answer will be at the outside. So 0.994. So the answer is 0.994. But with a negative, if you forget the negative, gone already. So you see, I today step the negative. So 0.994. Okay. Wait, why I have to put negative? Yeah, just now you do experiment already, ma. Your C is negative. That's why I have to put negative. Okay, not finished yet. You still have to sub the C with what? H minus 25 over 9. Because you want to find H. So after you find your C, you have to ganti balik dengan ni and then cari H. Okay, now you press this. Negative 0.94 times 9 plus 25. So I got 16.054. Okay. Okay, what would be the units? Okay, H is minutes. So this will be minutes. Alright, so just write minutes. Okay, I don't think you have to round off jadi 16 or 16 minutes. Tapi I round off because minutes memang boleh ada decimal, right? Kalau dia bilangan then you have to round off lah because bilangan dia tak boleh ada point, right? Tak boleh ada decimal. But if it's time in minutes, dia, yeah, you can have decimal point. So you can have decimal. So just leave it like this. Alright, I'm done. Okay, let's do question 10. Okay, just by this diagram, I know this is integration from 5 chapter 3, definitely. Okay, student usually hate this chapter. Yeah, this integration chapter is like, yeah, student find this chapter really difficult and they will always struggle for the area, volume. Yeah. Okay, let's go through it together. Diagram 4 shows part of a curve fx equals to negative x plus 4, x minus 1, x minus 3. Okay, this is a cubic curve. Let me tell you why. Because the x, when you expand this, you will end up with a cubic equation. It will be x power 3. And for cubic curve, dia punya shape of graph will be like this. Like this. Okay, this is called a cubic curve. But should I explain it now? Well, I think yes. Yeah, you should explain it because later you have to find area volume 1, confirm. Yeah, you see, area volume. So when you integrate, confirm you have to, when you integrate this, confirm you have to, before you integrate, kalau boleh expand, kena expand, right? So I recommend you expand it now lah. Even though I still haven't finished reading the question yet, but I will expand it now. Alright, so I will write the chapter here. Okay, now it's time to expand. Expand first. Where should I write it? I will just write it here. Fx equals, alright, the negative, I will go inside, become negative x minus 4. Okay, negative x minus 4. Okay. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. If they give you like this, actually, you can find out the, you can straight away write the x-intercept here, here, and here already. Because when you factorize the cubic equation, it means you sub y equals 0, you can straight away get your x-intercept already. So this will be negative 4, and then this will be your 1, and then this will be your 3. Yeah, because they already write in the intercept form, you see, bracket, bracket, bracket. So if you sub y equals 0, to get the x-intercept, the negative also go there, becomes 0 also. So you just get x is negative 4, x is 1, x is 3. That's why this is negative 4, 1, 3. Like that. Okay, so after labeling that, now I should expand. Okay, negative darab masuk already. Okay, now this one kena darab also. So another bracket, x times x is x square. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 3 plus 3. Okay, yang dalam ni boleh buat. So dia jadi negative x minus 4. And then this one is x square. Negative 3x minus x is negative 4x. Okay lah, I'll just do fast lah. I'll straight away write the uh, x square. And then negative 3x minus 1 terus negative 4x. And then plus 3 like that. Okay, now boleh kembang lagi. Okay, this bracket has 2 terms. This bracket has 3 terms. So how you supposed to darab? Okay, very easy. First, you take negative x times x square. So you get negative x power 3. And then negative x times negative 4x, you get positive 4x square. Negative x times 3, negative 3x. Now, repeat the same process, but using negative 4 this time. Negative 4 times x square, negative 4x square. Negative 4 times negative 4x, positive 16x. Negative 4 times 3, negative 12. Okay, done. So what is your fx? Okay, this one can cut. 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. So it becomes negative x power 3 minus 3 plus 6 is plus 13x minus 12. So this is your cubic equation. Okay. Okay, so actually I explain is because I know it's integration question lah. But sebenarnya I belum siap baca lagi soalan. So let's continue reading the question. PQR is the curve. Oh, where is PQR? This one. This is not a cubic curve. This is a quadratic curve. Yeah, because you look at the equation, you can tell already. The x is just the highest power is x power 2, right? So it's a quadratic, and this is the equation. And then they say both curve intersect y-axis and x-axis at point P and point Q. Let's double check. This curve and this curve they intersect both at point P and point Q. Oh, yeah lah, correct lah. And also point Q, you know already, it's 0, 3. But what about point P? Can I find it? Yes. And also the question A asks you to find point P. And yeah, it's very easy. So I'll just do my A here. Okay, point P is actually very easy to find because this is the y-intercept. Yeah, it's the y-intercept for this quadratic curve. So what you can do, just sub y x equals 0 lah. So when x equals, because you're trying to find y-intercept, right? So sub x equals 0, because the x coordinate of this point would be 0. Okay? So it becomes g0 equals negative 1/3, big bracket, 2x plus 6 square, and then sini ganti 0. So it becomes 2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 6, 6, 6 square, 36, 36 divided 3 is 12, so negative. So this point is 0, negative 12 lah. That's the point P, and I will label it here also. But sir, what if I sub into this equation? Can also. If you take this equation and do x equals 0, you get the same. You know why? Because this point P is also the y-intercept for this cubic curve. It means this point P is the y-intercept of the quadratic curve, but at the same time, it's also the y-intercept of the cubic curve. That's why you can sub x0 here also. And believe me, you will get same answer. Okay, let's try. 0 plus 4, 4, 0 minus 1, negative 1. Yeah, because you sub x0 and then 0 minus negative 3, and then there's negative. And then negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 times negative 3. You see, negative 12 also. Yeah, so it's the same lah. So you can do it like that also. Okay. All right, I'm done with my A. Now we have to do B, area of shaded region. Okay, this one confirm we have to do integration already. All right, my B working I will write it here. All right, the area of shaded region I can see it's here and here, and you can see that the shaded region they are separated. Okay, it's like two separate region, right? So that means you have to find it separately lah. This one you have to find it separately. This one you have to find separately. Okay, and I will find this first because this is this is very easy to find. Okay, this region very easy to find because the region is already in between the curve and the x-axis, and it's the cubic curve. So what you can do is just integrate the cubic curve towards x-axis and then just muscle the equation lah. That's all. So it's quite easy. Okay, let's call this A now. Let's call this A and let's call this B, right? And later when I find the B area also, I will use the x-axis to integrate. Yeah, definitely have to use x-axis. Okay, because the region is in between curve and x-axis. Okay, so we don't have to worry about like, oh sir, this one is like on the right side, on the left side. No need, no need. If you integrate towards x-axis, you tengok atas bawah saja. Kalau atas dia jawapan keluar positif, kalau bawah jawapan keluar negatif. So later for this you have to letak modulus lah. You tak payah tengok kiri kanan because we are not using y-axis to integrate. We use x-axis. Okay, tak apa, we find area of A first. Okay. Alright, the area of A we don't have to letak modulus because if we use first of all we integrate towards x-axis because the region is between the cubic curve and the x-axis and it's from 1 to 3, and then here you have to masuk y, right? And the y will be the cubic curve equation, which is okay, you should masuk yang ini. Ya, yang sudah expand punya, yang sudah kembang punya. So it will be negative x power 3 plus 13x minus 12 dx. And without we don't have to put the modulus because dia tak apa? You're using x-axis to integrate and the region is above the x-axis. Okay, later I'll do now I want to write for area of B first. Okay, area of B. Okay, for area of B, I will also use the x-axis to integrate. It will dx also. It will be dx also because the region is in between the cubic curve and the x-axis, right? This one. And then this time the number is from negative 4 to 1. And then the y here will be the cubic equation, negative x power 3 plus 13x minus 12. But you have to put modulus this time because the area of B is below the x-axis, right? So now my job is very simple. Just do here and then do here, and then the final answer both here tambah. Tambah, you have to tambah. After you tambah, you get the total area. That would be the shaded region answer. Okay, let's start integrating. Let's go. So when you okay, this one memang because just now I kembang already. That's why now it's like I don't have to do all the all the extra step already. So after I kembang now easy already, can straight away integrate. So when I integrate, we don't have to write this symbol anymore. Just write the big bracket, and then when you integrate, power have to plus 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and then divide with the power. Plus same thing, 13x power plus 1 become power 2, and then divide with the power 2. When you integrate number, you just letak x saja. So integrate 12 is 12x, and then tutup bracket, and then the 3 1 you tulis here. Okay, dalam boleh simplify tak? Kalau boleh simplify, you simplify dulu. Okay, I realize dalam tak boleh simplify dah. So kalau tak boleh simplify, kita boleh ganti 3 After ganti 3, I write inside the first bracket and then ganti 1 and then tengah-tengah minus. Okay, ganti 3 dalam. 3 power 4 is 81, so negative 81 over 4. Same here, ganti 3. 3 square is 9. 9 times 13. I don't know. What is 9 times 13? 117 over 2. Okay, so that is the answer 11702. And then negative 12 times 3 is negative 36. Yeah. Okay, now sub 1 pula. Okay, 1 power 4 is 1. So just negative 1 over 4. And then sub 1 here is 1 square is 1. 1 times 13 over 2 is plus 13 over 2. And then 1 times 12 is negative 12. Okay, now press this in your calculator. This 3. Okay, when you press that, you will get 9 over 4. Okay, and then of course this minus, you have to write it like this. And then this bracket, you will press also in your calculator and you'll get negative 23 over 4. Okay, so you have to put bracket lah because got negative negative. So now minus minus jadi plus. So what is 9 over 4 plus 23 over 4 is will be 40. Wait, 9 plus 23, 32 over 4, which is 8 lah. So the area is 8 units square. Oh, so that means the area of A is 8. This area right here is 8. Okay, now we have to plus with the area of B. Okay, the area of B will be similar with this because okay, tapi ada modulus, and also the number here is not same. So modulus, okay, when you integrate, you will be same with this. Yeah, so it will just be the same. So negative x power 4 over 4 plus 13x square over 2 minus 12x. Yeah, same. Because you're integrating the same function. And then tutup bracket, the 1 negative 4 put here, and then tutup the modulus. Okay, same like just now, the dalam cannot simplify also, so just big bracket, open a bracket like this, and then open a second bracket, and then tengah-tengah minus. This bracket is for you to sub the 1 inside, and then the next bracket is for you to sub the negative 4. Okay, sub 1 inside, what happened? It will be same with this. You remember this one also, you sub 1 inside, right? And the result comes out is negative 23 over 4. So if you malas, you can straight away write negative 23 over 4. But you have to minus with what? Okay, now you have to sub negative 4 inside. Okay, I have to tekan negative 4 power 4, which is positive 256. But there's a negative in front, so it becomes negative 256 over 4, which is negative 64. Okay. Yeah, use your calculator to help you lah. This one you betul-betul kena calculator. And then what about this? Negative 4 square will give you 16. 16 divided 2 is 8. 8 times 13, 104. Okay, yeah, plus 104. Yeah, 8 plus. Yeah, correct. And then negative 12 times negative 4 is positive 58. Yeah, you just use your calculator lah. Alright, now the next step is modulus. Okay, the negative 23 over 4, I will just write it. And then this bracket inside, I will tekan all this. So if I tekan this one plus this one plus this one, I'll get 88. Okay, but minus lah, because there's a minus outside the bracket. And then close the modulus, and that gives us modulus. Okay, what is negative 23 over 4 minus 88? It will be negative 375 over 4. And then when you modulus that, you're gonna get positive lah. So the answer is 375 over 4. Okay. This one is in unit square. But it's not finished yet. Not finished yet. They ask for the area of shaded region, so you have to plus these two, right? This one and this one plus. So I'll write here total. Okay, don't write total. Write area of shaded region. Area of shaded region equals 375 over 4 plus 8. Okay, what do you get? 407 over 4. Let me try. Yeah, 407 over 4. Okay, and write unit square lah because it's a area, right? Okay, if you want to write in decimal also can, because the decimal dia tak bagi banyak-banyak decimal place. It's just 101.75. Yeah, so you want to write like that, can also. But usually fraction better lah, because sometimes dia bagi banyak-banyak decimal place, so takkanlah nak tulis yang tu. So usually fraction is recommended for this topic. Okay, done with the B. Now kita tengok C pula. So the C working I will do here. Alright, find the volume generated in terms of pi. Alright guys, the volume formula, kalau dia dx, dia akan jadi integrate pi y square. Tapi kalau dia dy, dia akan jadi pi x square. But you have to, but for the volume, they will tell you revolve which axis. So if they say revolve x-axis, automatic is this one already. If they say revolve y, is the atas punya. You don't have to, how to say, worry about, think about which axis. They will tell you in the question. So let's see, find the volume generated in terms of pi when the region bounded by the curve y equals gx and the y-axis and the x-axis is revolve 360 about the x-axis. All right, revolve x-axis, confirm it will be dx. So later your volume formula will be this: integrate pi y square dx. But you also have to double check with the region, because sometimes the region they want is like you have to take something minus something one. Especially when your region, like let's say this is your curve, but let's say this is your straight line, but maybe the region is like I don't know how to say it. So okay, let's say this is your curve, right? And then maybe the region is like this. Then you cannot integrate satu kali already. You have to integrate dua kali already, because this line is a second line. So it's like you have to integrate this and this separately. Faham maksud saya? Yeah, you also have to make sure your region is in between curve and straight line. And dia tak boleh ada sengit-sengit macam tu. Kalau ada sengit, then you cannot integrate satu kali lah. You cannot integrate dua kali. Okay? So let's double check whether the region is like you have to integrate satu kali or dua kali. Okay, they say the region is bounded by curve and the y-axis and x-axis. It means it's not the shaded region lah. Yeah, it's not the shaded region. Okay, bounded means in between. So in between the curve, y equals gx. So let's highlight the y equals gx. So it's this one. And kalau tak silap, dia cakap y-axis and x-axis, right? So y-axis and the x-axis. So tell me, where is the region bounded by these three lines? Mana dia punya kawasan tertutup? Kawasan tutup in between these three lines. It's here, correct? So this is the volume I'm trying to find. And tell me now, this region, saya kena integrate satu kali baru dapat or integrate dua kali? Satu kali enough already, because this region is actually between the quadratic curve and the x-axis. So we don't have to, integrate dua kali. Okay? Unless this line is sengit lah. Maybe like that or like that. Then the one is like a bit difficult one. That one you have to integrate dua kali, and then you have to minus or plus macam tu. Okay, this one can integrate sekali, and they already say is revolve x-axis. So you have to write from 0 to 3. It means you revolve, you get something like this, like a cone. But it's not cone, because cone punya line have to be straight one. So you are finding the volume of this shape. So you integrate from 0 to 3, and then the pi boleh tak depan, and then 0, 3, and then for the y square you have to masuk the quadratic punya curve, the quadratic punya equation, this one. But ini y tau, saya kena ambil ini square, right? So tell me now, is it smart to expand this? Is it smart to expand this? No, right? Because if you expand this, you become negative 1 over 3, and then this will become 4x squared plus, minus 2 times 6, 12, 24x plus 36. And then you bahagi 3. And then the whole thing have to square again, baru boleh integrate. So it's not smart because you have 3 terms. Yeah, if you expand, you have 3 terms. So it's better to not expand it and leave it as it is. Leave it like this. And then when you square, it becomes what? Negative 1 over 3. Okay, negative 1 over 3. Negative 2x plus 6 square, right? But this one is the y. This one is the y only. They want y square. So you have to put big bracket and then square one more time. Because of the formula. Yeah, the formula is y square. So masuk y dalam and then square, right? And it's not recommended to expand this. Yeah, because if you expand, then it will be like later it will be 3 terms here, and then you have to square again. So yeah, that one crazy already. So it's better to do it like that, because if you do it like that, later you can just take this power 2 become power 4, and then this one also power 2, and then you just use the special method to integrate, right? Okay, let's not integrate first. Actually, cannot integrate first. So this symbol have to write. Yeah, cannot integrate because you have to do the square first. Okay, negative 1 over 3 square means negative square become positive, 1 square become 1, 3 square become 9. And then negative 2x plus 6 square become power 4 lah. Like that. Okay. Yeah, that's why it's better not to expand it. So now it becomes what? Pi. Okay, now you can integrate. So when I integrate, I will not write this symbol. I will write big bracket and then integrate become 1 over 9. Okay, when you integrate, you have to take the power plus 1. So negative 2x plus 6 become power 5 and then over 5. Okay. And then you close the bracket, 3, 0. Okay. Okay, this one, you have to write the times here like this lah. Okay. Yeah, this one is times. Okay. Okay, now what? Let's see. Wait, I feel like I did make some mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake. I terlupa something. So guys, 1 over 9 betul. But when you integrate this, you become negative 2x plus 6 power 5 over 5, right? But we are using the special method. That means we have to differentiate dalam bracket sekali lagi. So differentiate negative 2x will give you negative 2, and then differentiate 6 is 0. So yeah, I forgot about the negative 2 here. Okay. Yeah, so remember, when you integrate, kalau dalam ada dua term macam ni, after you integrate power 5 over 5, you have to differentiate dalam sekali lagi. Alright, now what? Before you start the 3 inside, you simplify first. Because this one is like you can darab. So atas darab atas become negative 2x plus 6 power 5 lah. And then bawah darab bawah is 9 times 5, 45 times 2, 90 with a negative. Okay. So now with that, you can sub the 3 inside. Okay, when you sub the 3 inside, you get something. And then sub the 0, you get something. And then tengah-tengah minus. Okay, let's sub 3 first. 3 times 2, 6. So negative 6 plus 6 is 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, 0, divide 90, 0. Okay, 0. That means when you sub 3 inside, you end up 0. Now you sub 0 inside. Okay, 0 times negative 2, 0. 0 plus 6, 6. So now I have to tekan 6 power 5 over 90. But there's a negative, right? Okay, the negative I can just tulis siap-siap. And then I tekan 6 power 5 divide 90. Okay, I'm pressing now. Okay, my calculator give me 432 over 5. 42 over 5. Okay. And of course, you have a negative here because of this negative down here. Okay, now becomes 0 minus minus. So it becomes plus. So it becomes 0 plus 42 over 5. So 42 over 5 pi. Okay, done already. But this one is volume. So units cube. Right? Okay, let's double check and see. Revolve 360. Okay lah, yeah lah. Yeah, if 360, you don't have to do anything. No need to divide 2 or divide 4. No need. If they say revolve 180, baru you kena buat macam tu. So yeah, the region is here. After you rotate 360, you get this for the volume. Alright, sudah siap. Okay, I'm gonna do 11 now. What chapter is this? So I see coordinate, I see equation. Okay, confirm. From 4 chapter 7. It's called the coordinate geometry chapter. Okay, let's do it together. Diagram 5 shows an isosceles triangle RST. Isosceles means the triangle will have two sides yang sama panjang. So for this case, it's RS as ST lah. So they will have the same distance later. And then RS equals ST. Okay, they should label for me. Point M is 2, 0 is the midpoint of RT. Oh, this one is the midpoint. So I feel like I have to put 3 lines like this. Because if this is the midpoint, means the jarak here and jarak here sama panjang lah. And then what else? Given that RMO is 45 degree, okay, this is weird. Because when we do coordinate geometry, usually we only look at the coordinates. They usually don't give the angle. So they suddenly give me the angle here. So what we can do with this angle? Okay, tak apa, we skip dulu. Yeah, I also don't know what's the use of the angle, but it's okay. I'm sure later it will make sense. I'm sure later the 45 degree will make sense later. For now, let's just ignore it first. A, given that the equation of MS, okay, this one I know what to do. Yeah, label lah. After label, find out the gradient and the y-intercept from the equation. Okay, MS dekat mana? It's this line right here. So I'm gonna label it. So I'll just draw an arrow. Okay, when we write the equation, try to make it linear form. So negative x pindah jadi x plus 2 jadi minus 2. Why write in linear form? Because when you write in linear form format, you can find out the gradient and the y-intercept. So you can see the gradient is 1. So this line punya gradient is 1. And then also the y-intercept is negative 2. That means if you panjangkan this line, the y-intercept is negative 2. Okay, but you don't have to do that. And then find soalan number 1, the value of k. Okay, where's k? This one. K is the x coordinate of this point. Alright, I'm done reading the question. So how to find? Well, use the gradient formula. Well, actually, there's two methods. Ada dua cara. Okay, let me show you the first method. First method, you use the gradient formula. Because you remember this line punya gradient is 1, right? I mentioned it just now. And how you know the gradient is from this equation. Okay, so it will become y minus y, 5 minus 0 over x minus x, k minus 2 equals to 1. So that's the first method. Second method is you straight away take this point, you sub inside. Yeah, the 5 masuk dalam y and then the k minus 2 like that. So your k is 7. If you do like that, can also. Okay. And kenapa boleh sub macam tu is because this point dia ada passes through. Dia ada passes through. So bila dia ada passes through, kita boleh ganti masuk lah. Okay, but I will do it like that lah. I'll do it like this. Just to show you that you get same answer. So k minus 2 equals 1. So 5 equals to 1 times k, k minus 2, and then k equals 7. See, same answer. Alright, 7, 5. Okay, done with the question 1. Find value of k. Question 2. Find equation of straight line MS and passes through point R. Okay, the moment you see the word find equation of straight line, in Addmaths, you will always use this formula. Y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. That's how you find equation of straight line in Addmaths. Of course, you can also do the y equal mx plus c, but that one usually maths baru kita guna cara tu. Okay, how to find ms punya equation? Where's ms? This line right here, right? Okay, kalau you nak guna formula ni, if you want to use this formula, you need to have the gradient and also you need to have the passes through punya point. Okay. Oh wait. Okay, I think the English one is wrong, di. Okay, don't look at the English one. The English one is wrong, di. Yeah. Follow the Malay one. Yeah, the Malay one. Yeah, the Malay one. Cari persamaan garis lurus yang selari dengan garis MS. It means they want to find the equation line yang parallel to MS and passes through R. That means the line was like this lah. It will be parallel to MS but passes through R. Ini baru betul. The English one is like they never mention about being parallel. So that's why the English one, don't look at the English one. Okay, so I'm trying to find the equation of this line, not this line. This line I have already. So takkanlah cari yang tu. Okay, how do you find this? Okay, first of all, we know the gradient will be 1 also because it's parallel to this line. But if you want to use this formula, you still need one more information, which is the point yang passes through. Yeah, because you need to have the gradient and the coordinate, and make sure you masuk point yang passes through lah. And I don't have a point that I can use. Okay, can I find point R? So I think that's the only way, right, is to find point R. But how do you find point R? Oh, okay, now the 45 degree makes sense already. Remember just now I said I don't know what's the use of the 45. Okay, now and just now I said I'm sure later it will make sense, right? So now's the time lah. Okay, so now's the time that you will focus on the 45. All right, what's the meaning of 45? I'm gonna explain it here. So imagine this, guys. So you have a square grid, right? You have square grid, and then you have something like this, right? Imagine, and then this is your y-axis, right? And then this is your x-axis, right? And then let's say this is your 0, and this is your 1, this is your 2, and this is your 1, this is your 2. Now imagine there's a point here, point M, 0, right? So this is your point M. Now imagine it's going up 45 degrees. Do you agree? The square grid here will be 90, right? And if you want to go 45, how you should draw the line? It should be like that, right? It should be exactly, how to say, middle like that. And it will touch this corner. And if you go one more, you will reach 0, 2. That means this point, if you go 45 degree, bam, bam, this point R will be 0, 2. So I think the 45 degree is there to help me find point R lah. Okay. Hopefully you understand how I explain it. And then now you can just do the equation lah. And I don't need to use this formula. You know why? Because this point R is the y-intercept already. So you can just do y equal mx plus c, and then the m is 1x, and then plus c plus 2, done already. Yeah. Of course, if you want to do the y minus y1 gradient x minus x1 can also. But no need lah. They already give you the c mah. Yeah, if you guna mata tengok sudah boleh dapat the c, then you can straight away write it. When will you do the y minus y1? When will you do this? Okay, you only do this when they don't give you the c. They don't give you the c. Maybe they give you some other points, maybe this point or this point. Then you are forced to use this formula. Okay? But if they give you the c, then tak payah pakai ni pun boleh. Okay, done with that. Now we can continue with which question? Question B. All right, let's read the question. It is given that RT is the diagonal of parallelogram RSTU. What is diagonal? Diagonal means the line in between the parallelogram. So let's say this is a parallelogram. So the diagonal is this line right here and this line right here. So these two lines is what we call the diagonal. Okay. So they say RT is the diagonal of parallelogram RSTU. So let's go to the diagram. So RT is the diagonal. That means this line right here is diagonal of a parallelogram RSTU. But U is not here, right? But I will tell you, U will be somewhere down here. Yeah, it's definitely somewhere down here. Because then only it can make sense. Okay, because they say RT is the diagonal mah. Takkanlah you punya U atas sini. Tak logik lah kalau atas itu. RSTU is a parallelogram. So you can see this is a parallelogram. And then RT is a diagonal. Of course, there's another diagonal like this. But that's what this line is what they are mentioning. Okay, and I can actually find point T actually. Yeah, I just realized because they say this is the midpoint, right? So you can use the midpoint formula to find point T actually. Okay, but let's see what they want. Find the area of parallelogram RSTU. Okay, this one you have to use the formula 1 over 2 modulus. 1 over 2 modulus, and you need the coordinate for RSTU because you have to put all the coordinate inside later. Okay, do you have the coordinate of RSTU? Okay, R and S ada tapi TU tak ada kan? Okay, but T I can find it, and I told you already how to find it. Just use the midpoint formula. Okay, I feel like I can just do it up here. So I'm gonna do my B up here lah. Okay, I'm gonna do my B here. Okay, how to find point T? Okay, let's call it XY for now. I will use the midpoint formula. Find point T. Okay, I know 20 is the midpoint, so that's gonna be the answer. That's gonna be the midpoint answer, and here I will find the midpoint. The formula is x plus x divided 2, y plus y divided 2. And you will take the hujung punya point tambah bahagi 2. So it'll be 0 plus x, which is x, and then y plus 2, like that. And the answer gives you 20. So now when you compare, so the x coordinate equals to x coordinate, and then the y coordinate equals to the y coordinate. So your x is 4, and then your y will be 0 times 2 is 0 minus 2 and negative 2. So your point T comes out here, 4 negative 2. And label it here, 4 negative 2. Now, find U. And guess what? You will also use midpoint formula. Because when you panjangkan this diagonal, when you extend this diagonal, it's going to be the midpoint also. Yeah, this point is going to be the midpoint of this line also. So you will use the midpoint formula again. Okay. All right. So my B working starts here, right? So I will just continue here. Okay. So this time my 20 will be the answer also. And then on the other side, I will find the midpoint of SU. Yeah, SU, which is 7 plus. Okay, this one I call it XY for now. So it becomes X plus 7 lah. And then Y plus 5. And when you divide by 2, you will get the mid. Okay, now you can compare. When you compare, mesti compare X dengan X, Y dengan Y. So X plus 7 over 2 equals 2. And then Y plus 5 over 2 equals 0. So what is your X? 2 times 2 is 4 minus 7, negative 3. What is your Y? 0 times 2 is 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So that is your point U lah. Negative 3, negative 5. And I will write it here also. Okay, with that being said, now let's find the area because we have everything we need already. All the coordinate of all the vertices we have already, right? So now they want to find area of parallelogram. Okay, boleh, tak ada masalah. Okay, I will use the space here. Okay, I'll just put an arrow like this, and then put a line, and then I'll just draw arrow like this. This one separate. Okay, so this one, after this, continue here. So it become area 1 over 2 modulus. I have to put in all the coordinate of the vertices for RSTU. So let's start with R, 0, 2. And then the next one you can write S, or you can write U also, but cannot write T, because you are finding the area of this. So you cannot go like that, cannot. It has to be, go to the, use the outside. Yeah, use the outside punya line. So after R, let's write S. So 7, 5. And then T, 4, negative 2. And then U, negative 3, negative 5. And before you tutup modulus, always repeat the first one. Okay. Okay, equals 1 over 2 modulus. Alright, now you have to darab. So when you darab, you have to start dari atas and then darab sengit. Darab silang. Okay, 0 times 5, 0. 0 tak payah tulis. And then plus 7 times negative 2, negative 14. And then plus. The plus have to tulis siap-siap. And then 4 times negative 5, negative 20. So I have to put bracket. And then plus. Negative 3 times 2, negative 6. So use bracket lah. And then minus. Okay, why suddenly minus? Because I changed direction. So 2 times 7, 14. Minus 5 times 4, 20. Minus negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So minus 6 lah. And then minus lagi dengan negative 5 times 0. But that one is 0. So 0 tak tulis. So done lah. Okay, so now we will press all this in the calculator. So negative 14 minus 20 minus 6 minus 14 minus 20 minus 6 is negative 80. And when you modulus that, you get positive 80. And that gives you 40 units square. So that is how you do this question. So that's the area. Okay, last one is question 2. Find point K move. Okay, the moment I see the word move, I know already this is a locus question. Okay, locus question. And when you do locus question, you have to always, the first step is to let the moving point become XY. And the point K, they already say point K move. So you will let your K jadikan XY lah. So they say point K moves such that the distance from S is always 4 over 3 times its distance from R. Find the equation of K. Okay, I'm sure I will need the point S and the point R coordinate. So let's go look for it now. Point S 75, R is 02. S 7502. 75 S02. Okay, now there's a ratio. So the point K is moved, but the condition is what? The distance from S, so KS, is always what? 4 over 3, okay, 4 over 3, times its distance from R, so times with KR, lah, like that, okay? And then you have to use the distance formula on both sides, and then you, how to say? You simplify it, lah. Okay, I feel like it's better you pinna the 3 here. Yeah, because, because if you pinna the 3 here, then later don't have fraction, then your working will look better lah. Yeah, because bahagi 3 boleh hantar jadi darab 3. So now I will do what? I will use the distance formula here to find KS, and then for the other side, 4 times distance of KR. And we have all the coordinates here. So let's do it. Okay, the distance formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. But this one is for KS, so I have to take out K and take out S. So x minus x will be x minus 7. Y minus y is y minus 5. Yeah, that's the formula. X minus x. Okay, for this one, it will be same thing, bracket square plus bracket square. And then the first bracket is x minus x. But this one is for KR, so K and R. So x minus x, x minus 0, which is x lah. Minus 0, tak payah tulis. And then y minus 2 is just y minus 2. Alright, now the next step is to get rid of the square root. Okay, macam mana nak hilangkan square root? You can square both sides. So bam, bam, square, bam, bam, square. And then when you square it, the 3 and 4 also, you have to square also lah. So 3 square will become 9. And then the square root will hilang already. Because when you square already, the square root and square cut already. So you left with x minus 7 square. And when you expand this, you get x square. And then negative 7x times 2 is negative 14x. And then negative 7 square is plus 49. Next one, y square. And then you have to take negative 5y times 2, negative 10y. And then negative 5 square plus 25. Same thing here, 4 square, 16. Okay, this one is just x square. So just write x square, but make sure there's a bracket here. If no bracket, then wrongly. Because if you don't put bracket, you will think that only x square saja yang darab 16. Then it's wrong. Actually, everyone inside also have to times 16. Okay, y minus 2 square is y square. Negative 2y times 2 is negative 4y plus 4. Now take the 9 and the 16. Kembang. Expand. So 9x square. Okay, 9 times 14. 126 x. And then 9 times 49. 441. And then plus times 9 is 9y squared, times 9 is negative 90y, times 9, 225. On the other side, 16 times x squared is 16x squared, times 16 is 16y squared, times 16 negative 64y, times 16 is positive 64. Alright, now it's time to susun. And we have to write it in general form. It means everything on one side equals 0. Okay, I will make the 0 on the left side because I want my x squared to be positive. I can see my x squared is here and here, right? So if I pin out the 9 there, then my x squared will be positive. 16 minus 9 is 7x squared. Of course, you want to susun on the left side can also, but it will be negative 7. Then later you have to tukar tanda for everyone. Okay. So that's why I didn't do like that. Okay, so after you do this, make sure you put like a mark here. You know why I have to put a mark here? Because there's a lot of terms here. So you put the mark, then you know, okay, you tak apa, you so that you know you tak apa terlepas pandang lah. You tak ada terlepas pandang. That's why you put a mark. Okay, next thing you have to write is the y square. Yeah, you have to write in the correct order. X square followed by y square followed by x followed by y followed by number. So y square now is 16y square, but you have to minus with 9y square. That gives you 7y square. Now the next thing you have to write is x. Okay, there's no x on the right side, but there's a 1x here. So negative 126 pindah sana jadi plus 126x. Now you have to write y. Okay, the y here is negative 64. But the minus 90 you have to pindah sini jadi plus 90. So you're gonna get 90 minus 64, 60. Wait. Negative 64 plus 90. Let me press. Negative 64 plus 90. 26. Yeah, so plus 26y. Okay, now for the last one is the number. So there is 64, but you have to minus 225 minus 441. And you'll get negative 602. Let me check. 64 minus 225 minus 441. Yeah. Alright, now we are done. So now we can write again. 7x squared plus 7y squared plus 126x plus 26y minus 602. And if you don't like the 0 on here, then you write again, write it back to the right side lah. Okay, wait. Can I simplify this? Because if I can simplify, then I should simplify. Okay, can I divide by 7? 602 can divide 7, but 26 cannot divide 7. So yeah, I think this is the simplest form already. Because you cannot divide with any, you cannot simplify lah. And also you cannot divide with any similar number. So I think that's it. Yep, I'm done with this. Let's move on. Okay, let's do bahagian C. Bahagian ini mengandungi 4 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, in this video I will jawab 3 soalan. Yeah, and I will skip the kinematics question. Okay, okay, number 12. This one is obviously the linear programming from 5 chapter 7. So let's read the question. Puan Sabaria wants to sell X jar of Biscoff biscuit. So the X represents jar of Biscoff, and then Y represents jar of chocolate. During the festive season, the biscuits are sold based on the following constraint 1, 2, 3. And then A, write 3 inequalities other than X bigger 0, Y bigger 0, which satisfy all the above constraint. Okay, so we can write our inequality from here lah. They already said, we already know what the XY represents, right? It's the jar of Biscoff and jar of chocolate. So the total number of jar of biscuit does not exceed 400 jar. Does not exceed means smaller equals, and the total number will be X plus Y, smaller equals 400. That's your first inequality. Second one, number of jar of chocolate biscuit is at most 2 times of the number of jar of Biscoff. Okay, number of jar of chocolate, it's Y, right? So it's Y, and then at most is smaller or equals lah, and then 2 times Biscoff, so 2 times X. Okay, last one. Number of jar of chocolate biscuits exceeds 1/3, means 1/3, of the number of jar of Biscoff at least by 30, at least by 60 jars. Okay, for this you have to find out the difference. And then take the difference, bigger equals 30 lah. Yeah, at least means bigger equals, right? So when you find difference, you usually ambil besar tolak kecil. So separate besar, separate kecil. So let's read one more time. Number of jar of chocolate exceeds 1/3 of the number of jar of Biscoff by at least 30. It means the chocolate biscuit kena lebih besar. Chocolate has to exceed 1/3 of the Biscoff by at least 60. So number of chocolate will be Y. And if you want to find the difference, you minus with the 1/3x. Because they say 1/3. And the difference is at least 60. So bigger equals 60. Okay, this is how I will do it. So my A is worth 3 marks. Done. Now for part B. By using scale of 2 cm to 50 jars on both axes, construct and shade the region. Okay, before I draw the graph, first I need to find the points for this line first. Yeah, because even if I go to the graph now, I cannot draw the line. So I cannot cari point dulu. So this will be 3 straight line, and all of them will be solid line because all of them are the equal. So let's change to equation first. So x plus y equals 400, and kalau dia ada x ada y means dia sengit punya line. Kalau dia sengit punya line, kita kena cari point. So buka bracket. Next line will be y equals 2x. Same thing, ada x ada y, so kena cari 2 point. And then y minus 1 over 3x equals 60. Ada x ada y, so buka bracket. So these all three would be a sengit line lah. Okay, so I will sub x0, y0 to, so I can plot later and then plot lah. Okay, when x is 0, y is 400. When y is 0, x is also 400. Okay. And then when x is 0, y will be 0. This one, if you sub y0, you get back x0. So I think I have to change and use another point. But we will worry about it later. Now let's leave it first. Let's go to the next one. When x is 0, y will be 60. Okay, when y is 0, my x will get negative. So I think I have to change this point to another. I will change this point to another point. Because in this chapter, we don't use negative value. Yeah, because your x and y will be always be positive, right? And later when you draw your origin also, it will be at the bottom left because everything positive. Okay. Yeah, so it's here. And they say 2 cm to 50, right? Let's do 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. Okay, I'll just do until 300 lah. Okay, so this is x, and then this 50, 100, 150, 200. Yeah, because the soalan give you the scala already, right? So you just follow the scala. They give you 300, 350, 400. And later, if there's some points that you cannot plot, then you just change and find another point lah. All right, so 0, 400, that's the first point. So that's the here lah, 0, 400, right? So let's go back to the equation, 0, 400. Okay, the next one is 400, 0. But I realize I cannot plot the 400, 0. Yeah, because this is 300, right? So what I can do, I can change the point, change to another point lah. Okay, since my x highest value is 300, why not try putting x 300? So 300 tambah y sama dengan 400. So 300 tambah berapa dapat 400? 100 lah. Yeah, you can say 400 minus 300 to get 100, right? So that's the point. So 0 400 kena join dengan 300 100. So 0 400 I sudah plot. 300 100 would be here lah. And when you join the 2 points, always double check whether it's solid line or dash line. But this one is solid line sebab dia ada equals. Okay. And do not forget to write the equation of this line. X plus y equals 400. So I'm gonna write here x plus y equals 400. Okay, for the next point is y equals 2x. So it's 0 0, right? Yeah, 0 0. And for the next point, I didn't find it is because I have to find another point. I cannot sub y0 again because I will end up getting the same point. So what I can do, I can sub another point. Okay, maybe try sub if I sub x 300, 300 times 2 will be 600. So let's not do that. Maybe sub 200 lah. Because 200 times 2 is 400 and I know it's enough space. Yeah, 0 0 200 400. Yeah, no problem. 200 is here and 400 is the highest point here. Yeah, so this point join with 0 0 and also double check whether it's solid line or dash line. But I know already it's solid line because they are the equals. So this is the second line, y equals 2x. Now for the last line, I have to plot 0 60 and then the other point I have to find myself. Okay, let's plot 0 60 first. 0 60, it will be 50 tambah 2 kotak. Why tambah 2 kotak is because the difference here is 50. The difference here is 50. So if you want to know satu kotak kecil, you just take 50 divide 10. That means satu kotak kecil is 5 lah. So 50 naik satu kotak is 55, naik lagi satu is 60. Right? So that's 0 60. Okay, for another point, you have to find it lah. So how do you find it? First jadikan y single dulu ataupun x single pun boleh, but I jadikan y single because it's more simple. And then 60 plus 1 over 3x, it means x over 3 lah. So we have to think about what number I can sub here. Okay, I know the x highest value is 300. So why not we try using 300? So if x is 300, 300 divided 3 is 100, 100 plus 60 is 160. So you get y 160. So boleh lah. Point ni boleh guna. 300, 160. Okay, so 300 is here. 160 is just 150. Naik satu kotak is 155. Naik lagi satu 160. Yeah, because satu kotak kecil is 5, right? So 150 naik 2 kotak. And make sure you join this with 060. So it will look something like that. Right? Okay, so now we are done with the 3 lines. Okay, don't forget the equation also. That's important. Y minus 1 over 3x equals 60. Okay, now it's time to shade the region, right? Yeah, when we do the linear inequality, they will always say shade the region. Okay, when we shade the region, we have to look at the symbol lah, smaller or bigger. So the first line, okay, before you check smaller or bigger, you have to make sure y is positive on the left side first. Yeah, so you can see here y is sudah positive, so boleh tengok dari sini, so smaller. It means you have to ambil bawah garisan. It means the region has to be bawah garisan ni. But which line? There's so many lines. Okay, this line lah, x plus y equals 400. So you will go to x plus y 400 and then ambil bawah garisan. So this is the x plus y 400. If I take bawah garisan, it will be here, 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 here. Okay, it cannot be here because they already mentioned in the soalan x and y must be greater than 0 because x and y represents bilangan jar. So yeah, they mentioned here, you see, x has to be bigger 0, y bigger 0. It means there's two more hidden inequalities, which is x and y, they're still positive. That's why we don't locate the negative region. Okay, the next inequality is y smaller than 2x. So the y is already positive and the symbol is smaller. So kena locate bawah garisan lah. But we have to cari y equals 2x punya garisan dulu. So this is y equals 2x punya garisan and it's smaller, right? So the region will be below this line. So that means this one cannot take already. And also this one also cannot take because I have to take below this line. So now for the last inequality, it's y minus 1 over 3x bigger than 60. So the y is already positive. Check the symbol. Boleh baca bigger. Bigger means we will take above this line. The region will be above this line. Y minus 1 over 3x line. So the y minus 1 over 3x is this line right here. And we take atas. So we left with this triangle lah. So now you know already this is your region. So you write a big R. And then you use your ruler to start to shade like this. Right? So it will look something like this. Alright. I'm done with the shading. So the soalan asked me to construct and shade is 3 marks. So done. So now we are ready for part C. Okay, C1 says find the range of number of chocolate if the number of jar of biscuit is 150. So the 150 is X or Y? It's Biscoff. So if you forget, you can tengok balik atas, Biscoff is X. Yeah, it's here, right? X. So that means when X equals to 50, and then find the range of Y. Range of chocolate means range of Y. Okay, when you find range, you have to write like this. In between, and then you have to write Y. Here you have to write the minimum value. Here you have to write the maximum. That means I have to find out my Y minimum and Y maximum first lah. So I will go to my graph, pergi X cari 150. So pergi graph X cari 150 and then start to tarik lah. Okay, the moment dia sentuh shaded region, that, and then you tarik pergi Y-axis, that's the Y minimum. So you can see it's 100 tambah 2 kotak. It means 100 plus 10 lah. So it's 110. So that's the Y minimum. Now for the maximum part, you will keep going until the last contact point with shaded region, which is here. So it's exactly at 250. So minimum will be the first contact point with shaded region. Maximum will be the last contact point with shaded region. But make sure also this line is a solid line. Because if it's a dash line, then you cannot take this already. Maybe you have to turun satu kotak. Yeah. Yeah, because if it's dash line means tak boleh ambil dekat line. Yeah. Alright, so 250 and 110. So that is the answer. Okay, but they want range, right? So you have to write in this form. Y between small number you write here, the big number you write here. Okay, so that's all for the C1. Okay, C2, find the maximum profit if the profit for per jar for Biscoff is 5. Okay, Biscoff is X, and then profit chocolate Y is 2 ringgit. So this is the famous question we all know, right? Whenever we do linear programming, there's always one question like this, where they ask you to find the total profit maximum, and then you have to draw the dash line, and then you have to slide the garisan, find out, and take the answer at the corner. Yeah. So, okay, first thing first, let's write down the total profit equation first. So it'll be 5x plus 2y lah. And then you rewrite the 5x plus 2y right again, and then find out the LCM for 5 and 2. So it'll be 10, right? And then you cari point, ganti x kosong, y kosong, and then later have to plot this out. When you ganti x kosong, y is 10 divided 2, which is 5. When y kosong, 10 divided 5 is 2. So I think I can tambah satu kosong. Because if I tambah satu kosong, this becomes 0, 50, 20, 0. Then it becomes much more easy to plot. So 0, 50 is here. 20, 0 is okay, 0 plus 2 kotak is 10, tambah lagi 2 kotak is 20, so it's here lah. And make sure when you draw this, you will use a dotted line. Okay, okay, I'll just use a green color line, but you all use dotted line lah. Green color means dotted line. Okay, okay, and remember to write the equation. 5x plus 2y equals 100. And dia nak maximum or minimum? So they give you the profit for one Biscoff, profit for one chocolate, find maximum profit. So yeah, they want maximum profit. So what I will do is I will take the answer, and the answer will always be at the corner. Okay, the answer will always be at the corner, but you have to slide the garisan until you reach the last corner. So I will copy and paste like that, and then I'll start to slowly slide like this. And you realize that when I slide like this, the line is actually parallel. Okay, yeah. So okay, when it reach here, that's when they sentuh the first bucu, right? But there's two more bucu here, so we have to keep going until we reach the maximum. So until we reach here, we realize that this is not the maximum because ada lagi shade region, so you keep going, slide until here lah. And when you reach there, you will draw a dotted line here. Okay, and after drawing the dotted line, put the dot at the corner you want to use, and then write down the point you want to use here. So it'll be 250 plus 1 kotak, which is 255, and then 150 turun satu is 145. Yeah, because satu kotak is minus 5, right? Okay, so that is the point that I will use later lah. Okay, okay. So remember, whenever we take the point, we have to make sure the point is on a solid line, and also dia tak boleh ada decimal. For this chapter, memang macam tu. Yeah, because if it's decimal, then because the x represents number of jars, so it has to be. Yeah, you have to double check and make sure it's on a solid line, and also dia tak boleh ada decimal. Kalau ada decimal means you have to take maybe the point yang berhampiran, tapi make sure it's inside the shaded region lah. Maybe you have to take before this point. Yeah, just make sure it's inside the shaded region. Okay, okay, now I will use this coordinate 255145, sub inside to find the maximum profit. So it will be 5 bracket plus 2y. This will be 455. This will be 125. Wait, let me double check. 255,145. Oh my God. 255,145. Wrong, wrong. So it should be 255,145. Okay, let me use my calculator and see what I get from here. So it will automatically come out in RM, right? Okay, 5 times 255 plus 2 times 145. So I got 1565. So that would be the maximum profit lah. All right, that's all for this question. This is worth 10 marks. Yep. Okay, 13 I won't do. That's the kinematics. Okay, 14. This one is index number and it will be worth 10 marks also. And I realized they never actually provide me any space. So I think I'll do it up here later. Okay. Okay, but let's read the question first. So it's from 4 chapter 10, index, price index. Okay, shows table 2 shows the ingredient used to make a loaf of raisin bread. So it's making bread. These are all the ingredients. Tepung, gula, yeast, minyak, kismis. Okay, the percentage of change in the price of goods and the percentage of consumption of each ingredient in the year 2024 compared to 2022 in producing a loaf of raisin bread are stated in the second and third column respectively. So let's look at the second column. Percentage change in price, increase 20% and so on. Okay, if they give you the percentage in price, it means you can find out the price index lah. But they got mentioned about the year here, 2024 compared to the year 2022. So this price index is for 24 based on 22. Always write the more recent year dekat atas. Okay, the less recent year you tulis bawah. So if I increase 20% means the price index will be 120. Increase 30, 100 plus 30, 130. Decrease will be 100 minus lah. So it'll be 100 minus 20, 80. Increase 10 is 100 plus 10, 110, and then decrease 10 is 100 minus 10, 90. So this is how you get all the price index. And also this column is what? Percentage of ingredient in each loaf of raisin bread. So this is the weightage lah, percentage mah, right? And also if this is percentage, the total here will be 100. So it means I can find P, right? Just take everything tambah equals to 100 to find P. But let's not do it first. If the soalan asks, then baru I cari. Okay, A says calculate the price of flour in the year 2024 if the price in year 2022 is 3 ringgit. Alright, what you have to do is you have to look at the floor column lah. Because talking about floor ma. So you look at the floor column lah. Alright, so they want to find price in 2024 based on if the price in 2022 is 3 ringgit. So yeah, when we are finding price, we will use the first formula you learn in this chapter is I equals P over P times 100. But of course, the year have to match with the year here lah. 2024 and 2022, right? So it'll be 24, 22. And then for the I, that will be price index also for 24, 22. Okay. But you have to double check because there's so many I here, right? So of course you will take I yang mana. They got mentioned about flour, tepung. So of course you will take 120 lah. Okay. Okay, what if they never mention any of these keywords? Okay, if they never mention any of these keywords, of course, if they got mentioned like minyak, then of course you take this one lah. Kalau they ada mention. But what if they never mention? Okay, if they never mention, you take the composite index. You take the composite index. Okay. But if they got mentioned about the specific ingredient, then you can only refer that row. So 120 is the I we're gonna use, and then times 100. And I remember they got give us one of the price. uh 3 ringgit. That's the price in 2022, and I'm finding 24. So the price is 2024, that one kena cari, and then this one is 3 ringgit. So now to find 24, I just tekan 120 divide 100, which is 1.2 times 3 is 3.6. And since it's a price, I will write RM and I will write 2 decimal place. Okay, so that's the answer. B, calculate the composite index for the cost production of loaf of raisin bread in the year 2024 based on 2022. So they're asking for composite index. The formula is you have to take the I times with W and then jumlahkan semua and then bahagi dengan total W, which is 100. And also the year already matched 24 based on 22. This I is also 24, 22. So we can actually do it. Yeah, it's not hard. So where should I do it? Okay, I'll just do it up here. So B, composite index for 24 based on 22. So I will draw a line and then I'll start to darab lah. Okay, so wait, I have to find P first, right? Yeah, because if I don't find P first, how am I supposed to find the composite index? So let's find the P first. So I'm gonna erase this. Well, actually not erase lah. I just wanna bring this down a bit like that. Yeah, because I cannot do this first. Okay. So let's find P first. So how to find P? Just ambil semua tambah dapat 100 lah. So 65 plus 4p, 65 plus 4p. Okay, let me make it smaller. Okay, 65 plus 4p, and then 1 over 2, 3 over 2, 1p. So plus 1 over 2p, plus 3 over 2p, plus the last one is 1p equals to 100. Yeah, and then find p from here. After finding p, then baru you cari the composite index. Okay, p dengan p boleh buat 4p plus 1p is 5p. And then 1 over 2p plus 3 over 2p is 4 over 2p, which is 2p. And then 65 hantar sana, 100 minus 65 jadi 35. 5p plus 2p is 7p equals 35. So p equals to 35 divided by 7, which is 5. So now you know the p is 5. Now you can have all the weightage. 4 times 5, 20. 1 over 2 times 5, 5 over 2. 3 over 2 times 5, 15 over 2. P will be 5 lah. Okay, now we can finally do the composite index. So we'll take I times W and then jumlahkan, right? So 120 times 65 plus. And then the next one is 130 times 20 plus. And then the next one, 80 times 5 over 2 plus. And then 110 times 15 over 2. 15 times, wait, what? 110 times 15 over 2, sorry. So this is wrong. 110 times 15 over 2. And then plus lagi, last one, 90 times 5. Okay. Alright, now with that, we can divide with the total frequency, which is the total percentage 100 lah. So now I'll press this in my calculator and then I'll get my answer here. Okay, let's press 120 times 65 plus 130 times 20 plus 80 times 5 divided 2 times 110 times 15 over 2 plus 90 times 5. Okay, my calculator give me 11875. And then you have to divide 100, you get 118.75. And this is the composite index for 24, 22. And I have a feeling this will be used in the part C later. Yeah, because it's always like that one. The index question is always like that. Okay, let's read the C question. Okay. The production cost of a loaf of raisin bread in the year 2024 is 10 ringgit. So this 10 ringgit is definitely the price for 24. But they never mention is which ingredient, right? Yeah, they just said the price of a loaf of raisin bread. I mean the cost lah. Okay, so if that's the cost of raisin bread, that means later you have to use the price index formula lah. Yeah, because when you find price, you will always use that formula. Yeah, the first formula you learn, which is the P1 over P0 times 100. Okay, now it says the price of each ingredient expected to increase by 33% from 22 to 26. Okay, what's the meaning? That means the composite index for 26, 22 is increase 30%, so 133. Yeah, because they said price of each ingredient means every single ingredient increase 33%. It means the average will also increase 33% from 22 to 36. That's why it's like that. Okay. Okay, now it says in the year 2026, if 2,200 is allocated to produce 200 loaves of raisin bread, determine whether the allocation is enough or not. Okay, I feel like I have to find out the total price. I have to find out the total price myself first. After I find the total price myself, I times 200, and then baru I check whether my answer is bigger than 2,200 or smaller than 2,200. Yeah, so that's the plan now. So what's the first thing? Let's find out the price in 2026. But if I ganti this one inside, tak jadi, because this one is 26, 22. And the 10 ringgit, this one is 24. So I cannot use this composite index to help me, but I can use the atas punya composite index to help me. The 24, 22 punya, right? So 24, 22 is 118.75. That means I can do P1 over P0 times 100 equals 118.75. But the 118.75 is for 24 based on 22. So that means here you have to muscle 24, 22 also lah. So the 24 is 10, and then you can find price 2022 here. And then after finding the price 2022, baru you guna ni untuk cari price 26. Because this one is 26, 22. Okay, okay, how to pindah? First pindah the 100, so it becomes 1.1875, and then 10 over P22. Okay, this P22 you can hantar sini jadi darab, and then the 1.1875 pindah bawah jadi bahagi. Right. So your price in 2022 will be, let's tekan 1.1875. Okay, my calculator give me 8.421. Okay, but it's a price, so we don't have to write. We just have to write two decimal place. So 8.42 is enough. Okay. Okay, after getting the price in 2022, now it's time to find the price in 2026 by using this info. Yeah, because I'm trying to find the year 2026 punya price of 200 bread. Okay, so let's use the formula again. 133, that's the composite text for 26, 22. So I can do P26 over P22 times 100 equals to this. And of course, the P22 we have already lah, 8.42. Now, to find the price in 2026, I just take what? 133 divide 100 times 8.42. So I'm going to tekan 1.33 times 1.42. I mean 8.42. Okay, my calculator give me, why my calculator give me 133 divided 100 times 8.42? Okay, my calculator give me 11.1986. But if it's RM, we have to write two decimal places. So if you round it off two decimal places, it becomes 11.20. And this is only price for one, a loaf of raisin bread. Yeah, because you start from 10, right? And 10 is the price of one loaf. So after you do all this, this will also price of one loaf. But they are want to produce 200 loaf. So to find out our total price, it will be 11.2 times with 200. And later we have to check whether this value is more than 2200 or smaller than 2200. Okay, if you press this, you get 2240. So that is the amount you need to spend. But they said only 2200 is allocated. So determine whether the allocation is enough. The answer is no lah. Yeah, it's not enough. Kurang 40 ringgit. So how to write? I'll write since 2200 is not smaller than 2240, therefore the allocation is not enough. Okay, yeah, and it's because of this lah. I already calculate, right? That's why it's not enough. Okay, this is worth 10 marks. Hopefully you understand. So this is my D working. Yeah, I mean C working. Sorry. Okay, let's finish it. This is the last question. Okay, this one is from 4 chapter 9. It's called solution of triangle, the segi tiga chapter. The one that you use sine rule, cosine rule, area of triangle, Heron's formula, that one. Okay, diagram 6 shows a solid prism. Oh, it's a 3D question. So sometimes the 3D question can be very difficult one when it's 3D. Okay, but I'm not sure about this because I haven't do yet. But let's keep reading. Horizontal rectangular surface ABCD. Let's check. Horizontal surface. Okay, boleh. So it's a rectangle. So that means this is 8.21 also lah. This one is also 8.21, right? Okay, and then 12.35 means this is also 12.35 because it's rectangle. Rectangle means atas bawah sama, kiri kanan sama. The trapezium ABFE is the uniform cross section of the prism. So where's ABFE? This one. And they say this is the cross section. And yeah, I agree because right behind it there's another trapezium with the same size. Okay. Okay, so far so good. The rectangle ADHE BCGF. Okay, ADHE dekat mana? ADHE this one and BCGF this one are a vertical plane while the base surface EFGH is an inclined plane. So EFGH is inclined. Okay lah, understand? So vertical plane means it's standing upwards lah. And then if it's inclined plane means dia punya plane sangat. Okay, so nothing important here. Now we can do A already. So A says given that angle HEC is 63.66, find angle HCE. Okay, let's label this first. HEC, mana? HEC. Oh, I have to tambah line myself because the C is right over here. So I have to tambah the line myself lah. And then it will form a triangle. Okay. Okay, let's label this 63.66 dekat sini. Okay, I will just draw a new one lah. Yeah, I don't want to mess up the diagram. So this one is HEC and they say this one is berapa? Sudut HEC is 63.66. And then they ask us to find angle HCE, means this angle right here. So I'm going to call it theta for now. Okay, if I want to find this theta, I need some information. I need the side. So do I have the side opposite? The answer is yes, 8.21. And do I have the side opposite of this angle? If I have, then I can use sine rule already. Yeah, because you are trying to find this angle, you have the opposite, so you just need one complete pair, right? So do I have the HC panjang? Don't have, but I can find it myself because HC is same with EB. The HC panjang is same with AB panjang. Do you agree? Yeah. Because the HC panjang, you can take, this one will be 90 degree, right? So you can take this number square plus this number square, which is 11.04 square plus 12.35 square. That is why I said it will be the same with down here, because this is also 90 degree. So you can just find the EB line now. Uh, wait, yeah, EB line now, right? So the EB line and the HC line is the same. So you just use Pythagoras theorem. So square root, bracket square plus bracket square. So it becomes 12.35 square plus 11.04 square. Okay, kenapa plus is because you're trying to find the hypotenuse. You're trying to find the longer side. That's why. Okay, now press 12.35. Okay, this one is bracket 12.35 square and then plus with 11.04 square. Okay, I got 274.4041. So I'll just write, wait, I haven't square root yet. Sorry. Okay, so I got 16.565, so 16.657. Just write in 4 significant figure for the side. Okay, after having this, now you can use sine root already. Kenapa boleh guna sine root? Because you have the opposite of what you want and you have a complete pair. So just write sine theta, but I think it's better you write the HCE. Okay lah, it's the same lah. HCE is the theta lah. Alright, over with the 8.21 equals to the complete pair, which is sine 63.66 over the side opposite 16.57. So now I can find sine HCE, and then I'll just tekan this one, bahagi this one, darab this one. So let's press 6 sine 63.66 equal dy 16.57 times 8.21. So my calculator give me 0.4440. And then now I just shift sign answer lah. So shift sign answer, and I get 26.36. But I usually write in degree minute. For angle, I write degree minute. So I'll just write 26 degree, 22 minutes. So my HCE is 26 degree, 22 minutes. Okay. All right. Where is that? Here, right? So that means this is the 26 degree, 22 minutes. Okay, let's do the arrow like that. Okay, so I'm done with this. Okay. Uh, Actually, I need you to know something. When you tekan shift sign, there's actually two answers. Yeah, because you learn in trigonometry, add sugar to coffee. If your sign verify positive and it's a normal case, you will have two answers. One in quadrant 1, one in quadrant 2. But why I never write the quadrant 2 answer is because this angle is clearly less than 90. Yeah. So even if you find out the second quadrant answer also, you will reject that answer. That's why I didn't do it. Okay. But still it's important to know that. That's why I'm telling you now. Okay. And how you change to quadrant 2 is 180 minus. Okay. Okay, tapi saya sudah explain, tak payah. Okay, soalan B. Find the sudut BFE. Mana BFE? BFE. Oh, this one lah. This angle right here. Okay, I think to find this angle, you have to cut this angle into two. Yeah, and how you cut it is like this. You cut it like that. Bam. Because the moment you cut it, you get 90 degree here. Yeah, because that's how trapezium works. You just cut it at here, you get a rectangle, and then you have a triangle. So what happens to the 11.04? You have to minus with 5.72 lah. Because 5.72 is the vertical panjang here. So let's tekan 11.04 minus 5.72. So my calculator give me 5.32. Okay. So now atas become 5.32 already. And what we are trying to find? We are trying to find this angle right here. Because with this angle, then I can plus 90, then I can find the sudut BFE. And how to find this angle is by using this right angle triangle. And also, kalau dia right angle triangle, we don't have to use the sine rule, cosine rule. Yeah, right angle triangle, you just use the Pythagoras theorem or the Socato to do. No need to use sine rule, cosine rule. So you can see here, you are finding this angle. Let's call it X for now. So depan X kita panggil opposite, depan 90 kita panggil hypotenuse. The remaining one is the adjacent. And the adjacent will be 12.35. Okay. So now I actually want to find the... Okay, what I want to find? I want to find this sudut, right? So I need to have any two sides. So I have the opposite, which is 5.32, and I also have the adjacent. So you use tangent lah. So I will write here, question B, it will be tangent lah. So it will be tangent angle, this angle right here. So let's just call it theta for now. Equals to opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 5.32 over adjacent 12.35. So now this one is normal case. So you can just press shift tangent 5.32 over 12.35. So I got 23.30, but I like to write in degree minute. So 23 degree 18 minutes. Okay. And of course, make sure you know that when you tekan shift tangent, there will be two answers also. Okay, another answer dekat mana? Quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. So the other answer will be quadrant 3. And to get the quadrant 3 answer, you have to take 180 plus. 180 tambah dengan jawapan ni. But I will not do that because this angle is inside a right angle triangle. So how can this angle be quadrant 3? If quadrant 3 means it's already higher than 180 already, the angle. How is it possible this angle more than 180? It's not possible because the sum of the three angle should be 180. So how can one angle inside is more than 180 in other logic? Okay, but still you have to make sure you know that. You have to make sure you know that there's actually an answer here. Okay, all right. After you're done with this, now we can tambah with 90 because I want to find sudut BFE, right? So my sudut BFE is this one tambah 90, which is 113 degree 18 minutes. All right. So that is the answer, and now we can continue. Okay, so continue. Oh, it's not over yet. They say hence calculate the area of triangle BFE using Heron's formula. Okay, what is the Heron's formula? A equals to square root S bracket S minus A bracket S minus B bracket S minus C, where the S is A plus B plus C over 2. Okay, so we will be using this formula to do this question. All right, before doing anything, we have to make sure we have our ABC first. ABC is the three side of the triangle. So this case, they ask for the BFE. So let's look at BFE. Do we have all three side punya panjang? Okay, this side I have lah, 5.72, no problem. And then the EB I have also, because EB come from Pythagoras theorem, this one square plus this one square. But you already do it just now. 11.04 square plus 12.35 square, you already do it here. So it will be 16.57, right? So you have these two sides, and you also need this side. But this side don't have lah. Okay, but you can find it easily yourself by using Pythagoras theorem, right? So I need space. Oh my god, there's no space here. Okay, I'll just do it up here lah. So I find my EF now. So my EF will be square root. Okay, same thing lah. Use this right angle. This is the one of the side. And then this side will be 12.35. So to get the hypotenuse, it will be 5.32 square plus with 12.35 square. Because I'm trying to find EF. So ambil yang ni square tambah ini square lah. Okay, let's tekan calculator. Let's see what we got here. Plus 12.35 square root. Okay, my calculator give me 13.447. So 13.45 lah. Okay. Alright, so that is the length of EF. Now I can find my S already, right? So my S will be A plus B plus C over 2, which is 13.45, which is this side, plus with this side, which is 5.72, and then plus with the last side is this one, right? And this one I already know is the 16.57. And then divide by 2. Okay, what is my S? So I'm going to press now, plus 5.72, and then plus 16.57. And then divide by 2. So I got 17.868. So it's like 17.87. Okay, so done with that. Now we can find our area using the Heron's formula. So the area will be square root. Okay, according to the formula is S bracket S minus A. So it will be 17.87 bracket 17.87 minus A. And the A can be any of the side lah. So let's take 13.45 and then bracket S minus B, which is 17.87 minus B, which is the second side. Okay, not enough space pula. Alright, let me do this. Okay, alright, so there's one more. Oh. So there's one more here, right? 17.87 minus with the C, which is 16.57. Yeah. Okay, so now I will press my calculator and then let's see what we get dalam sini lah. So I will use the answer button. So answer bracket answer minus 13.45 and then close bracket open bracket answer minus 5.72 close bracket open bracket answer minus 16.57 close bracket. Okay, I got 1245.53. 1245.53 and then square root the whole thing to get the final answer 35.29. And make sure you write cm square because that is the area of triangle. Okay, done already. That's the area of triangle. Now let's do C. Determine the shortest distance in cm from point F to EB. Shortest distance in cm from F to EB. Uh, Whenever you see the word shortest distance means you have to think about 90 degrees. Okay, from F to EB. So I have to tarik from F, which is here, to the EB line, but make sure it's 90 degree perpendicular to EB. So I have to tarik like that lah. So this is the height you will find. And when you are doing solution of triangle, so remember this, when you're doing solution of triangle question and they ask for shortest distance, you will always do the use area to do. And you use the 102 times base times height punya formula. So you just do 102 times base times height, right? And then for the base, you have to take this one, the EB line, which is 16.57, right? And then for the height, that's will be the shortest distance, and equals to and equals to what? Okay, it will be equals to the area of this triangle. And you already find it using the Heron's formula just now, which is 35.29. So now you can just press this and you get your H already. So just tekan answer times 2 divide 16.57. So you get 4.2597. So 4.260 lah. Okay, I just realized I made a mistake here. So when I press this in my calculator again, it's not 1245.53. Yeah, I just realized this. So you actually get a different number. So let me press one more time. Answer bracket answer minus 13.45, and then bracket answer minus 5.72 bracket, and then answer minus 16.57. So it's actually 1247.57. Yeah, I think I silap tekan tadi lah. So this one it should be okay. Let me just erase this. So this one I careless. This one is actually 1247.57. And then when you square root answer, the area is 35.32. Yeah, 35.32 cm square. So that means this down here also have to change lah. Yeah, this one also wrong already. So it should be 35.32. That's the area of triangle, right? And then to find H, you can use the answer button times 2 divided 16.57. So 4.263. Yeah, this ini baru betul. So I made a careless mistake here. I silap tekan lah. Maybe I silap tekan one of the digit or something. Yeah. So that's all. Alright. I'll see you next video. Okay. Bye bye.